Hey, it's the Betting Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
No.
And I am Ron Bennington. Gail Bennington, giant mistake yesterday. You turned down an ice cream cone.
I did, actually, yeah.
Turned down Connor and Chris asking you for an ice cream cone and missed what would have been the greatest sighting of your natural life.
What? You guys had okay, first of all, the idea of turning down the ice cream cone was not easy for me. But I was like, look, it's summertime. I need to drop them LBs. I don't want to be just eating ice cream willy-nilly. What? Who did you see?
You can try and guess.
One of your favorites of all time.
Fuck. Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
You bring his name up all the time.
Mail. Looks like you just helped me out. Is this...
You won't feel helped out. You'll feel destroyed.
Is this an actor?
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. Is this an actor over the age of 40?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be almost there, but no, not over 40.
Just think one of your favorite sex symbols.
Is this person someone who has a movie out right now?
Yeah, I think he just released a movie, yeah.
More like a play.
Oh,
and
no.
And he has a play.
He's in this area because of a play.
Is this person Jake Gyllenhaal?
It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
No!
You missed Jake Gyllenhaal.
No!
And then
You're shitting me. Please tell me you're lying. I don't even believe you because they were giving me shit about the...
I also took a creep shot of Jake Gyllenhaal.
No.
Because he did not believe that you would believe him.
I turned my head up like, holy shit, Connor, is that Jake Gyllenhaal? And then, oh yeah, that is Jake Gyllenhaal. Got my phone out as fast as I could to take a creep shot because I know you'd think I was lying.
Because you normally lie about stuff.
Yeah, I lie constantly.
He's a liar. Plus, like, the anger that he had that I wasn't going to get an ice cream. I felt like it was...
He had every right to get mad about that.
I was pissed. Why shouldn't we all get some fucking soft serve together?
No!
Was it Mr. Softy?
It was New York ice cream.
Oh, so you've chosen. In the ice cream wars, you chose a side.
I'm not walking like fucking 10 blocks out of my way to go to Mr. Softy. Here's a picture, the creep shot I took of Mr. Jake Gyllenhaal.
And he's wearing that beard because he's doing that weird play that suddenly everyone's like, oh, he's a great singer. We didn't know it.
No.
God, he was hot. He was just so good.
Can I just ask this? Did you have the ice cream when you saw him?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that's good. Because that would make me feel really uncomfortable. Like, hi, Jake. I would have just chucked it behind me. Hey, Jake.
Watching fucking Chris dive on the ground to grab it.
Right.
Vito, you weren't there?
No, I did not go on the ice cream social.
Looks like somebody's on the outs with the cool boys.
We just had pizza.
Yeah, little pizza with an ice cream follow.
You didn't have dessert.
I was full.
I'm sorry. A pizza isn't made out of ice cream.
I was full too. Still wanted ice cream.
Do you want to know? It's like this weirdest thing on the train ride home. I was like, why'd I turn down that ice cream cone? I could have used an ice cream cone.
I'm only mad because I left before ice cream and not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dude, I can't believe that.
He was on the phone looking fucking great. Just talking to, I'm going to guess, an agent or maybe
he was talking to Maggie. Yeah, he and Maggie were like, that's right, we are brother and sister.
Why is this happening?
Hey, here's something I don't understand why it's happening, and Chris is giving me shitty answers. Why don't we get Good Friday off here?
I don't know. I don't know why we don't have the day after Easter or Good Friday, but they don't get Passover, so...
Well, who's they?
Jesus.
Oh, you they,
fucking
huh?
Oh my
racist.
God.
No, I mean, it's not a fair, it's not like the Jewish people get Passover
But
and we
why
don't
would
get,
you even bring this up as if it's a competition? It's not.
It's the same week this year.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with anything.
You're awful.
And by the
Thank
way,
you, Chris.
Garbage person.
If they're all in the
That's
same
different.
week, all the more reason that we should just have the week off.
Yeah.
We should just have a Passover, Easter.
Somebody told me this year Greek Easter falls on the same day as Easter. I'm like, I don't care. Greek Easter isn't even Easter.
Surprised you didn't know that.
And the fact that only 0.5% of Christians pay attention to when Greek Easter is. And I don't want to come off as racist as Vito is.
Impossible.
Obviously. The type of racism I didn't even know exists. The kind of racism we haven't seen since Hitler.
Oh my God.
I don't think I'm that far.
I think you're exactly that far.
They call him Hitler too around here.
Nobody calls me that.
No one's called blank 2. No one's called Bob 2, Jimmy 2. Junior is what the term you're looking for.
It's like a movie sequel.
You were doing so good with the Jake Gyllenhaal, and then you came up with the 2.
Oh my God. I can't. It's just really upsetting
He was so tall and in good shape. He was fucking really... He's a fucking dreamboat.
He's not that tall, is he?
He's tall.
I didn't know that. I did not know that about him.
Yeah, I was surprised. I saw him only once, and I was years ago, and I was shocked how tall he was, because he always seemed like a short to medium height dude.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I thought him and Zach Galifianakis were exactly the same height. Now, what's your favorite Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh my God. See, like my first love of him was Donnie Darko, but like my favorite performance of his would be Brokeback Mountain.
Vito.
Sentimental. It's Bubble Boy.
Come on, dude. I can't pull you into the big boy conversations if you're going to be a dummy.
Nightcrawler.
Good call.
I fucking love that movie, and he's such a creep in it.
I also think he's an amazing weirdo creep and jarhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, that's at least. I mean, if we didn't invite Vito into this conversation, we'd be talking about how many, for as young as he is, how many great roles he has. Because even if you look at some of the great actors of all time, they got less than 5 great roles. And he's easily about right there right now.
Yeah, and like I think, like pretty early on, I was like, okay, this is going to be someone with a lasting career. Like even
here's his problem when he tries to become a movie star instead of an actor.
Yes.
He'll do some dumb things. The rom-coms don't work. It's the weird, edgy, on the outside of society people that he does unbelievable.
But he also makes me like movies that I shouldn't. Like, I liked Southpaw, and I'm aware that I shouldn't.
I didn't watch it, because I've watched 10,000 boxing movies, and it just... I get it. Go for it.
Like, if you've ever wanted to see Jake Gyllenhaal pretend like he's Eminem, it's a great movie.
Well, first of all, I do now.
Because I was like, is he doing an Eminem impression?
Well, Eminem was the original choice for that movie.
I know. And then I think he just decided to be like, I'll just be Eminem.
Now, do we know if our guest is coming in here?
Yes, he is.
I think we've got one of the best actors of her generation, Carrie Coon, is coming in here. You might know her from Leftovers, and she's going to have the hit Crazy Weird show Leftovers on the same time as the hit Crazy Weird show Fargo. This is the year of Carrie Coon.
Yeah, I mean, those are 2 big shows, and there's like so much buzz about Fargo.
It's
they like set up 2 entirely different seasons that were so different, and this third one is like...
And a great movie. Do you know how hard it is? I mean, how many times has anybody gone, they've taken a great movie, and I can only think of MASH, and this is harder to do than MASH, because with MASH, you start to go, okay, we've got Alan Alda, we'll play on his star power, but they switch it up, and it's a whole new season every time, and these things are fucking great.
And I'll be honest, I was quite nervous when I heard the premise. I was like, why would they touch something?
Oh, you mean
like just the idea? Time. Yeah, from the very first time, I was like, "There's no way they can make this work."
A friend of mine still won't even try to watch the TV show because he thinks it's an insult. And I go like this: the insult is what a dope you are right now. And guess what? Our friendship ends. I am deleting you.
Oh my God, that's so harsh.
Yeah,
but fair.
Yes, harsh but fair. That's the kind of teacher I am. Captain, my captain. Captain Kirk. Oh, Captain Kirk, my Captain Kirk.
Is your hope that that me and Chris and Vito will all just like stand up on the desk one day in tribute to you?
When I'm getting fired, I would love that. And you guys probably would do that instead of following me out the door.
You're like, guys?
It's not like you're in 10th grade and you can't leave. That kid got killed after playing Shakespeare. And they blaming me? Fuck them. His dad's a lunatic. For some reason, we think that's a good movie, but it's really not.
Nope, it's not.
Go back and just take a step just a slight step back and watch that movie because I have. And I'm like, this is kind of fucking ridiculous. These kids are too tense. Their little assholes are too tight.
Just relax, dude. You're young.
You think it's a fucking big deal that you spent, 5 fucking hours of your entire high school going into a cave and chilling out.
Right.
I'm like, I spent 5 years standing in the snow smoking angel dust rather than walk into the class. I even have a captain to fucking lead me into the same shit that you supposedly smart kids were forced to do. Dead poets. Dude, there's fucking rock and roll while you're sitting around thinking, you got dead rock stars. You don't need dead poets. You got Jim Morrison. You got Jimi Hendrix.
He taught them so much.
Captain, my captain. Any of those fucking schools where you have to sleep at the school? Fucking break a glass and cut my throat.
And they're always it's always a boys or girls boarding school, right? They don't have co-ed boarding schools.
Well, I think they do have them, but there's never a movie about them.
Right.
It would just, unless it's going to be some XXX fuckfest movie where all the girls are 32, 33 years old with fake tits. Tatted up. That's always fucking ridiculous. If you see those fucking soft porn movies and the woman's supposed to be a doctor and there's just a big neck tattoo.
My favorite is just this is my first time, but then she has her clit pierced and you're like, what?
She's a virgin.
Look, your man Bannon looks like he's on his own way out. They're fucking him over, man.
He'll recover.
I don't know, dude.
This is bad.
This is really bad.
I don't like that Trump's pretending that they weren't friends the whole time, because I can tell you from first-hand experience.
I know. He does that with everybody, though. He acted like he was Chris Christie's friend, and Chris Christie didn't get a fucking job.
Yeah, that's a really strange thing to lie about something that can be proven otherwise. Because immediately when
He's the guy who works for me.
I remember the day I was doing the phones and he said, you tell him he's the boss, he'll do whatever he wants. And then you just sat there on hold.
And then he's gonna say, oh yeah, he was like a late add-in.
You know what? You could probably get yourself booked on CNN talking about that story.
Really?
Yes, easily. They would fucking love to see you. If not them, then perhaps a Morning Joe.
Joe would definitely take that.
I'll reach out right now. I'll tell him I have the scoop.
I don't think we should start and call Jim Norton Morning Jim.
That's a good idea.
Because he's on in the morning. Morning Jim. And then people can listen in the gym in the morning when they're at the gym.
Great.
You know?
You have so many good ideas.
I know, and no one listens to me.
You're like a branding machine.
I had Morning Jim. Give us off Good Friday.
Ice cream with Gyllenhaal.
You fucked up. What kind of ice cream you have?
I had vanilla chocolate with chocolate sprinkles.
To me, why don't you just get straight chocolate then?
You don't like
know
the
what I mean?
twist?
I like vanilla.
No, you don't. Or
Yes,
you
I
wouldn't
do.
get the chocolate with it. That's what I'm telling you. The second you put some chocolate with vanilla, it's chocolate. Maybe not as strong as chocolate as a real fucking person would. But it's no longer vanilla. Just like if you put a little chocolate into milk.
Yeah.
It's fucking chocolate milk at that second.
See, as a child, I liked my chocolate milk like chocolate.
Yes. You were right. You had a light chocolate ice cream. Thank you. No further questions.
Fuck!
What were we bitching about? Oh, something about elevator etiquette, about people who got off the elevator slow. So then Gail mentions it. I give my opinion, and now 3 of us are just going up an elevator. And fucking Chris goes to DEF CON fucking 90 and starts screaming in our elevator about how much he hates those people.
Yeah.
Like a fucking workplace shooter.
Yes. It was so scary how quickly he went 0 to 60. And we were like, look, we're on your side. We're sitting here, we're going, we find this annoying. Doesn't it really bug you? And we have just mildly discussing how frustrating it is.
We have vacation coming after Moon Tower, and Chris really needs it, but he doesn't know that he needs it, but he's as explosive.
I'm having extreme mood swings.
And I had to say yesterday, right? Hey, we have a meeting about Moon Tower. Let's focus on the meeting. Let's not go for the nutty fuddy talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chris agreed with me. And then I might make a little joke during this meeting, and then he went off into complete crazy, and I had to pull him back, and he was fine until I made a little joke. It was my fault every time, but it never needed to go as far as him screaming at Vito, get out. No, you know what I mean? Like he thinks it's funny to act like he hates Vito, but he never once acts like he likes Vito.
Right. Why don't you flip the script and just pretend to love Vito?
I couldn't do that.
By the
That's
way,
too weird.
Stop pounding on your phone. Who are you texting?
I'm texting them about the phones. That's all. In the other room.
They're having problems?
They're having problems, yeah.
All right, don't worry about it.
Okay. I'll save it till later.
Yeah. Anyway, he was out of his mind yesterday. And
it's just basic elevator etiquette today, though, Ron. Gail, come on. I mean, if you're going to the lobby, right?
We agree.
And you hit the lobby, and then you don't get out of the fucking elevator car?
First of all, this wasn't your thing. It wasn't even your observation. You took our observation, went nuts with it. Now you're trying to sell it back to two people who invented it. Now, also, there are some people who are seeing me as being a tad racist for saying a little bit of chocolate spoils the vanilla. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a little bit of chocolate immediately becomes chocolate. And then Chris admitted that he liked chocolate, which, by the way, is sick for a young person. I can see an older person saying that.
Elderly.
But when you're 9, you should like pour a little milk in Hershey's and then drink it down.
When I was a little kid, I just wanted that sweet goddamn whole milk with just a pinch of chocolate.
That's something like a mom would say.
I know. I would make that shit as dark as possible.
God, no.
Dark as night.
Mm-hmm.
No thanks. I think I was more in for the whole milk.
Till an adult had to be like, stop pouring that in there. That's
this is how poor he grew up. He's bragging about whole milk. Sweet whole milk, he calls it.
It's good.
No, first of all, most children are forced to drink milk.
Yeah.
They don't sit around and think, oh, it's Christmas morn. Perhaps I'll get the whole milk. You fucking white trash, broke dick fuck.
It was my fault, my parents.
Still, that's what you decided to be born into?
I wasn't my decision.
I have read spiritual things where people say babies are born into the families they choose.
Like that,
a baby on the other side decides what's family its soul will be drawn to.
Why do some babies choose so poorly though? Like,
but we have one here. We have one, Mr. Fucking Whole Milk. If I could just get some whole milk, my life would be great.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go home and buy some chocolate fucking syrup and just make some light.
Oh, you'll be able to keep it for 2.5 years. You put an eyedropper of chocolate because anymore your parents would stab you in the thigh.
What do you do with that syrup?
By the way, Vito, you should have been downstairs with us. Chris and I are out there having a nice little fuck you schmoke for ourselves, and I'm bitching about the Good Friday holiday. And Chris is like, we can take it, but it's against our, floating holidays. Oh, that's crazy. But 30 Italian girls in a group come here. And I mean from Italy, all of them. I'm going to say this. You could have taken those 30 glasses, right, and traded it for most homes in the United States. That's how expensive their sunglasses were. But all of them only had their phone, and this drives me nuts about girls, 1/4 into their ass pocket. 9/10 of their phones stick out of their fucking pocket. It drives me nuts.
I can tell you 100% why this has happened. And it's not by choice. It's because girls have stupid small pockets on their jeans.
Okay. This is the beginning of a Shark Tank pitch. And Barbara is right down the hall right now. We could go down there and say, Barbara, aren't you ready to get into deep pockets? Deep pockets of profits?
I would love this because it's the most annoying
design. Oh my God,
thing.
there's Carrie Coon. Oh my God, look, she looks so love. Look how young she looks still. All right, Carrie Coon is here. Fargo is the TV show.
That premieres next Wednesday, April 19th on FX.
Let's bring her in.
Do you always sing along?
Scary, yes. You know who said that to me the other day is Robbie Robertson. He goes, you sing along with all the songs. And these are the songs from the band that he wrote.
Right.
And I was like, because I like them. Carrie Coon is here. I believe her to be the best actor of her generation.
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not about that.
That's amazing.
But it is true. You know it's true, and I know that it's true.
my mom thinks it's true.
It is true. First of all, you're in the two like edgiest, craziest TV shows at the same time.
It's true. Yeah, that is true. It's pretty remarkable. It's pretty unusual. And they're coming out the same week.
Yeah, how does that happen?
I don't know. I still am trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm getting away with something.
You
really.
are getting away with something, but you're that good.
Oh, thank you. I loved Fargo so much, and I couldn't believe that they offered me that part. You know, I just feel
Well, we were talking about how many times have you ever taken like a great movie and be able to turn it into a great show? We only came up with MASH as the only
that's right. MASH was.
that ever happened. But they had the benefit of, Alan Alda's a big TV star and we'll just build on it. So it became different. But Fargo, the movie, so strange, so weird. Then the TV show in each season, strange in a different way.
Yeah. He reinvents it every year.
But so precise. Everything is so smart.
Yeah, and it kind of lets it take a life of its own. Like, you don't have to sit there and compare each season to each other. They are their own, within the same world, they're their own piece of art, which is
he
really
sets
cool.
out to do that very intentionally. I mean, like this year, for example, the group has gotten smaller again, a more intimate story again, and he pulls the blues out. They're taking all the blue out, so it gives the palette a different sensibility.
Okay.
And it's very artfully curated to make it different, you know, and he's just so smart. And the language is so specific.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really lucky.
I remember when I saw the movie the first time, I got depressed because the amount of white, that there was no horizon. I'm like, I can't live there. Imagine, because we were living in Florida at the time. And I go, I'll kill myself if I live there.
Yeah, like how can something be bright and depressing at the same time? Just like that cold whiteness.
Yeah, that starkness about it. Yeah, isolating, really.
But that's also how I feel about the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those people, and by the way, California has the same kind of people. They weird me out completely. They seem like the kind of people that would drive over a dead body. That's how I feel about that kind of white person. They're just too white for me. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Yeah. But, so did they call you?
They did. I had a little Skype meeting with Noah, and then I was headed to Australia to pick up, leftovers. We started in Texas. We were moving to continue shooting down there. And I was in Singapore visiting my brother-in-law when we started negotiating the deal to do it. So, I thought I was part of a mix of actresses they were considering. And then very quickly they said, no, you're their first choice. We just have to get you approved by the network. And FX approved me. And then before I knew it, I was signing a piece of paper and getting ready to do Gloria. So.
Because you're the actress of your generation. It's true.
That's so kind.
It's true.
Wow. I'll take it.
You actually deserve it. We were talking about this before you got here.
Wow.
But it's been said by other people besides me.
I've had some very flattering, the critics have really come out for both shows. And, the critical response to season 2 of Leftovers was the only reason we were still on the air. Otherwise, they would have gotten rid of us, I think.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody watches it.
I had no idea that.
Nobody watches it. We just have really rabid fans. But because of the reinvention of season 2, we recovered our sense of humor. Things shifted a little bit. We had added some glorious actors like Regina King and Giovanna Depo, and I think the critics really went to bat for the show, and they let Damon finish it on his own terms. And I don't know that would have happened without the critical response we got. It wouldn't have happened.
Have they known where they were going with that show?
Heck no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No way. When in season 1, when I have the thing with the gun and the prostitute.
Yeah.
I asked them the episode before, I said, so there's a gun in my purse? And they said, yeah. And I said, why? They're like, we don't know. I said, really? You don't? Oh, okay. Interesting. So they were kind of making it up as they went. But it's because Damon is interested in his actors, and he ends up pursuing things in the performance that he's interested in, and it changes the story for him, which is an interesting way to work.
But Fargo, you know exactly where you're going all the time.
Yes, Noah's a planner. And so I had, I think, 5 scripts before we started shooting. I didn't know the ending. Nobody knows the ending. Noah writes that himself. But, we have it now, so I do have it well in advance.
So you're not done shooting yet?
No, we're doing block shooting, so we're shooting, 307 and 308 right now. So I go back on Sunday, and then we have to finish 9 and 10. So early May, we're done.
Here's the thing about this show. I don't want a single spoiler. You know how like some shows you would say, oh, I want to be freaked out.
Yeah.
And also at the same time that everyone else is freaked out. I don't want to binge watch this. I want to feel like we're all watching it, all completely weirded out by it.
I had the chance to watch the first episode, and it's so incredibly tense, but immediately I'm like, I don't want to talk about it because, like, I feel like you're already sold on the show. Just watch the show. It's fantastic. But the tension of the first episode, like, I feel really, it's a phenomenal season. You can tell.
It's special to hear you say that because, you know, of course it used to be back in the MASH days that everybody in the country was watching the same thing every night. And the conversation, the national conversation revolved a little bit around our entertainment. And now there's so much diversity in our options that we don't have that kind of collective conversation anymore. So it's nice when a show like this kind of breaks through culturally in that way.
And I should say also, I thought that, you know, the teasers that they've been doing leading up to it have been so great because that's a certain trust in an audience is going to follow a show and come back for next season or check it out. Because the instinct, and you see it more in film, but the instinct to just give you too much.
Yes.
I hate that.
I hate that too with trailers. Oh,
yeah.
It spoils everything, but their marketing's very savvy. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, there's a discerning audience that expects greatness out of this. So the audience expects to be on the edge of their chair, and then they also expect to laugh.
Yeah, that's
very
right.
Weird.
That's right. That I always feel though when we have humor in darkness like that, it feels more human to me because that's how my family gets through everything. If we couldn't laugh about it, we would be dead.
Where did you grow up?
In Ohio, Northeast Ohio, Akron.
So you get that whole Midwest.
Oh, completely.
Thing. Yeah.
Completely. I totally related to Gloria from the first. There's a kind of stoicism, kind of repression, and an inability to ask for help, too. You know, like people don't ask for help. We'll handle it. That's what we always say. We'll handle it.
Yeah, we got it. My mom always said, we're surviving.
Right.
That was her, and I'm like, okay.
It's like kind of cynical. And like boiling our meat and putting it in casseroles. You know, it's all very depressing. But my family's great. They have a great sense of humor, and you know they are survivors. And they taught me a lot about how to be a person in the world.
You really grew up far away from the business,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, there was no. I mean, I had 2 working parents. There were 5 kids in my family. We weren't going to see plays. We weren't going to see movies. We couldn't afford it. You know, that's too many. It's too expensive. So, it was very far from me. And it wasn't until I got to college where I had a professor say, you know, you could go to grad school for acting. And I had no idea people even did that. I didn't really know what a master's of fine arts was. It's not something we talked about at home. You know, my people are working class. They're educated. My parents read books. You know, my dad was classically educated in Latin and Greek in a seminary. So it's not like we were entirely blue collar in that way. But, it wasn't something I had exposure to. So it's kind of been, I think, shocking for everybody in my family to see how things have taken off in the last few years. I don't think anybody expected that. So they're very excited.
And then you married a great artist, which is also now, that's kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's having this, you know, Tracy went off to LA in his 20s and couldn't get arrested. He's on the Festivus episode of Seinfeld, and that's about as much as he can claim from that time. But he's suddenly having this crazy film career at 50. Which has been really astonishing for him. But he's an extraordinary writer. I love acting in his plays, and we work really well together. And I've just so enjoyed watching how prolific he's been the last few years. He just had a new play open at Steppenwolf in Chicago this past weekend, and I'm just really proud of him. He's saying some important things at a time when we need our artists to speak up, and I just am really proud that I'm his first reader.
Right. And plays have gone in such a different place now. Like, they make sure, like, oh, this isn't like watching TV or a movie. You know, we're going to go somewhere different. Gail studied playwriting.
Oh, cool.
And every time she'd give me a play, I'm like, this is nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was always your ambition.
Yeah, that was kind of my first love. And I think that it was kind of a thing where you learn how to write because it allows for a more surreal setting sometimes. And then you kind of get to step that back and work on like actual dialogue. I mean, dialogue is really what I love.
It's hard.
And so that's why I chose playwriting over screenwriting.
Are you still writing?
I still write a little bit, but not as much as I should. But for you, it was theater first, or it's...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing exclusively theater for years, back to back to back. And, you know, in the Midwest, you can kind of make a living doing it. I wasn't waiting tables. I did a little mocap work in video games, and I, you know, did some corporate voiceovers in Wisconsin, and I started writing a little bit for voiceovers, and I edited people's dissertations. I was doing a lot of editing because I was an English major in college. And so I was making a living without having a flexible schedule, basically. And, it wasn't until Virginia Woolf went to Broadway that everything changed. I met Tracy and then got on TV.
I didn't know that you and Tracy met there.
Yeah, we met doing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in Chicago. The boozy marriage play. It doesn't usually result in marriage.
I know. But when you guys brought that to New York, it really rocked the city. It was one of those times that you're like, wow.
Yeah. It changed my life in so many ways. I think the production was extraordinary, and I think it was because, Amy and Tracy had been in a company for 20 years, over 20 years together. They'd played Married 3 or 5 times, I think. Yeah. So they already had a kind of relationship that they could bring, a history they could bring to the play. But also, it's actually a play about love, and I think so often it becomes this nasty tour de force for a woman, when it's actually about this man who's fighting to save their marriage. And Tracy used to say, wouldn't you want somebody to fight for you that hard? Even though the play is brutal, it's funny and it's caustic, but it's ultimately a love story. And I think that's what we brought to the table. And all the great New Yorkers saw it. All the industry people saw it. Tourists don't come see it. We played the half houses most of our run, but it changed my life.
But yes, it was like one of those things that critically it nailed the city, and then
won a bunch of Tonys and
Tracy beat Tom Hanks out for a thing.
We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it.
But when he got on stage, he looked like he believed it. You know what I mean?
He gave a great speech. His speech was really important in our city. Yeah. It really meant a lot to the actors in our city for him to say what he said about our community there, which we're still a part of. I mean, we live in Chicago still. That's where we spend all our time. It's whatever free time we have.
Yeah, and I've heard from many actors that said, like, you can live in Chicago in a way that you can't live in New York.
All my friends in New York are living, 6 to a house in Crown Heights.
Yes.
I was not going to do that. And I'm too lazy to work 80 hours a week in addition to trying to be an actor. I'm just too lazy. I'm not going to do that,
You're also too good. Let's face it.
You're so sweet. You're making me blush.
But we've been through this. Yeah, You're nailing it.
Thank you. I have great opportunities. I'm really fortunate. A lot of people would trade places with me right now.
But also, is that because you'll go, okay, if I don't get what I want, I'll go back and do theater?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think if you grip it too hard, it's elusive. And because it was always a lark for me to go into acting anyway, it wasn't my life's passion from age 4. I always felt like, this will be fun for a while. And my parents said, yeah, hell, go to acting school, see what that does. So it was kind of a loose plan anyhow. And I always thought the world is big and interesting, and I'm very curious, and I'll find something to do. So I've never been afraid of losing it. And I think that really helps you when you walk into an audition room, because you're not desperate. You just figure, well, it's meant to be or it's not. And if it's not, I'll do something else.
I love to hear that, because normally, you would hear people say, like, if you want something, you have to, go after it and fight and eat and breathe and live it.
Yeah.
But it's cool to think, maybe if you're gentle with yourself and you're gentle with your experiences, you give yourself breathing room to have great opportunities and
I hope so. I mean, I always tell young actors, you don't have to go to school and get a degree in acting. Go study abroad. Go volunteer somewhere. Go read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Fire your imagination in any way that you can. You don't have to necessarily do stagecraft to learn how to be an actor. It's really about the life that you're living, and I just think that's the best preparation you could have.
But it's always odd with that too, that if you see, like, the best time that we ever have, I think, for film and theater is when people move away from career. If you look at 70s film,
it's the best.
And people thought the film was dead at the time. So people went, if film's dead, let me just go make something that I like.
Right. And it's some of the best decades of film in American film anyway, 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And now that level of film has dried up, and TV has really rushed in to fill that void, and we're telling more interesting stories there, and it's becoming the place where we're taking risks and where you're seeing more interesting female characters in particular. Right. A lot of actresses are headed for TV because film scripts are terrible.
Yeah, they have been.
And they don't seem like they've caught up with the trend of what TV has been doing.
Heck no. There's just big blockbusters, or there's, tiny indies.
Yeah. But it seems like the smart thing would be to go, oh man, TV is really having its day in the sun, and a big part of that has to do with the interesting roles they're setting up for women.
It's a little slow.
It's weird that they haven't just tried to jump on that, even just as a, as a financial success or to rip off what to make money.
I was just watching that it's on Netflix. It's called Easy, and it all takes place in Chicago. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I liked film when I first started watching it.
Yeah,
just watching
I watched that
beings.
too. A lot of my friends, obviously from Chicago, are in that show. So Tracy and I watched it to support our friends. And yeah, there's something about that city in particular. It was founded in this ensemble aesthetic. The Steppenwolf Theater came out of there. That's Gary Sinise and Malkovich and all those guys, and Joan Allen, Yeah. And it was always about telling a story. It wasn't about one person standing out. And so you go to Chicago and you see these great theater companies that are all trying to tell a story together, and they carry that aesthetic wherever they go. So it's not about having an aria. And I have to say, sometimes when I'm in New York, when I go see a play, I think, wow, if you took every other actor off that stage, that actor would still be doing what they're doing, because they're not really listening to anybody and they're not being affected by the person in the room. And so, I don't know, I just think it's a great, humbling, grounded city to be an artist in. And I always encourage young actors to give it a shot when they're starting out, because you got to work.
Right.
You can't wait for the phone to ring. You got to do your work. That's the only way to get better.
But what's the audience like there? Is it the same audience showing up and supporting?
They're very discerning. Yeah. Yes, and they're really smart. And I feel like whenever I go to Broadway now, there's always a standing ovation. Doesn't matter what it is. And in Chicago, you earn it. If you get a standing ovation, it's actually meaningful, because the audiences just don't give that away. They're very, very particular. Yeah, and they love new work.
Yeah, and I think it's far too many in New York now, too many tourists who are here because this is part of my New York vacation.
Yeah, I'll go see Tom Hanks in this play I don't know anything about. Yeah, it's definitely, they go see musicals mostly. That's why things like Virginia Woolf played at half houses.
I know, but isn't it funny, and we've talked to, Gail and I talked about this before, that it's still, when it works, the best kind of entertainment that there is, to go and see a drama somewhere.
Yeah.
And, some little place, and that thing where you just, whatever connects at that moment, you just feel a switch go, and you're like, oh man.
It's such an active experience. You can be passive and watch TV or film, but in a room with actors, there's a real, actual energy exchange happening. Yeah. That's just science. Yeah. So we are interacting with each other, and I've always hoped there's going to be a swing back to the theater, because we're actually hungry for that physical interaction with another human being, because we've gotten so far from it, which is one of the big themes of Fargo this year, is, this idea that the technology, people are all behaving as though it's bringing us closer together, when in fact, the character I play feels that it's actually pushing people further apart and making her feel quite invisible. And I really appreciate that perspective. And I keep waiting for people to come back to the theater, because it offers something that no other medium can.
Yeah, and it's sometimes what's the play Horizons?
Playwrights Horizons.
Yeah, I belong to that. And you just see this thing, you're like, oh, this is not that expensive. I don't know anything about it. I'll go. And it always feels like you're taking a risk, when you walk in. But when it pays off, it's unbelievable.
The risk for the audience, you can almost feel it. I think it's the most interesting thing how it takes time for an audience to settle. Even if the opening moment is great and it pulls you in, you feel like them be like, we're in this room and these people are acting strange, and I'm in the dark and they're in the light. It takes a while for everyone to get comfortable,
And there's anticipation.
Yes.
It's palpable.
My
really
first thought is always, oh shit. As soon as they come out and they're talking loud, I'm like, oh, uh-oh.
Tracy was doing a play once, and I can't remember which play it was. It was probably, more of a classical play. And as soon as the lights come up and they start the scene, this man yells from the house, "It's going to be one of those walking around plays." Yeah. What does it even mean? But it's so funny. They're very quick to judge.
The Tracy's play that they turned into a film, the Texas one that Matthew McConaughey was in.
Oh, Killer Joe.
All right, Killer Joe. This is like my crazy surreal moment. So we're seeing it at a screening room, and Chris Stanley, we're all stuffed in there, and Chris Stanley was sitting next to Rex Reed. It was nuts. And Chris was enjoying it more than Rex, I believe.
Yes.
And it was like, all I just started doing was, I'm like, I feel nuts right now. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't feel more like an adult and a child at the same time. Because by the way, he's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable writer.
Yeah.
And you are the actor of your generation.
Oh, my goodness.
Chris, give us the plugs before we let Carrie go.
Fargo Chapter 3 premieres next Wednesday, April 19th on FX. Go to fxnetworks.com for more information.
And
the
Leftovers
premieres this weekend on HBO.
Sunday nights.
Thanks so much. It's
Thank
great
you.
to meet you. And
It was my pleasure.
Keep doing great work. And we'll see you next time.
I'll come back anytime.
Great. Love Carrie Coon.
What a lovely person.
She is. I didn't even get into explaining as much as I needed to how Chris was acting during that crazy fucking Killer Jones movie. And the fact that he was next to Rex Reed, who hated it.
Really?
Hated it.
Yeah.
Gina Gershon's down on her knees sucking on a fucking chicken leg between Matthew McConaughey's legs. It's fucking nuts.
It's a wild fucking movie.
By the way, who's the girl who played the young girl in that too? She's unbelievable. Vito's looking it up. Oh, and then one of your people was also Emile Hirsch was in that.
Oh,
movie.
yes.
Yeah.
Emile Hirsch.
And the guy from Divorce, the guy who did the wine movie Sideways, and now he's in Divorce.
Oh, yeah.
We're all coming together here. We're all connected.
Thomas Hayden Church.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the girl is Juno Temple.
Yeah, she's great, man. That's Julian Temple's daughter, the director.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she's really, really good in a lot of stuff. Well, Carrie Coon was everything I wanted her to be.
She is so wonderful. And
She was unfucking believable in Leftovers. Unbelievable. Sexy, heartbreaking, scary, freaky. She's amazing.
And Fargo is going to be, I think it's going to be fantastic. It's a really great start to the season. And
just think of how much every movie has great acting that stands out, and then every season has had great acting that stands out.
Yeah, and this one is going to be very much different. Like it's
yes, they do it every time, though.
Yeah, like it's going to, I think, just like all of them.
You know what scared me was the twin idea.
Yeah, I had concern about it. And I will say that her element to the story,
Carrie?
Yeah, like brings you in very much so. Like at first I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this twin thing, but she's great and so solid and like really grounds the whole thing. I think it's going to be a good season.
See what happened? I mean, there was a fucking flying saucer in last season and I didn't get mad. There's a flying saucer. I'm like, yeah, there's flying saucers, dude. Don't worry about it.
It happens.
You going to bring up Bubble Boy to her?
Oh, you scumbag.
I'm not going to bring Bubble Boy up to her. It was just amongst friends.
Oh, my God, you think we're friends?
Sorry.
We're the people not letting you go to Moon Tower, and you think that we're friends.
Don't take that away from me.
First of all, take it away from me is nothing that you even have.
But
we're there for work.
But it was there.
This isn't one of these take an inner city kid to the fucking to Texas, big sky, and let him, run around. This is work.
I know it's work, but I just hope that there would be some fun within the work.
None. No fun.
This is
if I
serious
see
work.
you having fun, I'm sending you back to your hotel.
Okay.
If I see you looking at pamphlets of anything to do.
No, come on. They have those in the hotel lobby, though. You can't.
I'll keep an eye on him, Ron.
Chris, he hates fun.
Yes. Well, he just hates Vito. His fun is someone else not having fun.
Please give this to me.
I know what you guys are thinking. Maybe in another life, I could have been Tracy Letts and I would be with Carrie Coon.
I was thinking that actually the whole time.
Me too. He also wrote Bug, which is a great movie with Michael Shannon.
Yeah. Michael Shannon, scary as shit.
He might be my favorite dude.
Kyle said, what really disappoints me is that no one watches The Leftovers, a fantastic show. I've got to tell you, Kyle, I didn't know that. Because me and Chris watch it, right?
I watched the first season.
Oh, you got off?
Yeah, I read the book. So I thought I might know where it's going, but it seems like it might be different. I might jump back in.
Yeah, I thought that it was like a popular show, but I guess what Carrie was explaining that it's like a critically acclaimed show. which is the best. I mean, like, if you can keep a show like that on, it's great, because then the people who love it get to enjoy it, and then they're not going to, like, fuck with it.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean, maybe sometimes it is a curse to have massive ratings, because then there's no way to, like, not play towards those ratings.
Because if they go down, then you're fucked.
Yeah, or like you're gonna gauge that based on ratings, like, oh, now this season isn't successful.
By the way, some people rating nice things to Carrie Coon. I'm going to give out a super tweet prize later for that.
Tweet.
Rockin' Robin. It is where we were just talking about you're at a concert and the audience has to be told, hey, let's put our phones down and be in the moment.
Yeah.
I really am a person who believes that most of what the internet has done is worse than the good things that have come out of it.
Like, it certainly has created an interesting dynamic in which you can connect on things you'd never connected before, but all the stuff we used to connect on, we don't. Like, that's
right.
The peculiar thing.
Because you can't have a conversation now without someone grabbing their phone and trying to figure out the fact. Instead of being here having a conversation.
But you know what I think is kind of interesting, and you guys might argue against this point, but I'm going to throw this out there. That I find that younger people, and I'm not talking about like teenagers, because like that, I'm talking about adults. I'm talking about young adults.
Yeah.
Are less intense with their overuse of the phone, using them in social settings than, say, someone of the baby boomer generation. Like, for some reason, they struggle more with phone etiquette, I think, than younger people. And maybe it has to do with, like, this was just, like, such a big change in technology rather than something you grew up with.
I don't know what point you're making.
That I think that older generation have worse phone etiquette as far as answer a phone call while you're in the middle of a conversation, take a phone out while they're, like, at a meal or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they struggle more with figuring out the ways to stop themselves from doing it in a social setting.
But then you think the younger people just use it all the time and no one cares?
No,
there is no etiquette?
I don't know. I don't think that at all. I think, and maybe will be different with teenagers. Maybe they're just like, there's no problem with doing it. But I think that, like, young adults tend to be more in the moment and less, like, looking at their phones while they do things. And I could be wrong on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like I hang out with a lot of really young adults, you know?
Vito. Jen.
Well, I don't know if Vito is what I would call a social person as it is. He's not all over social media. I was surprised when he said he had a Twitter.
Yeah, you're not so, like, social media obsessed.
No, I'm not social media obsessed, really. Like I have a Twitter. I like to use it, but I don't use it that much.
Here's the thing about Vito. He likes to physically go places.
He does.
And I think that's the healthy part. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go places and be in the now.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you seem to like friends and connections. Like, you're just like, we did a thing together as a group.
I would much rather be with a group of friends than just to have, like, a group text or just talk on the phone.
Chris, you're a loner. What do you think?
I hate group texts, and I don't really hang out with people.
You like group texts. You do it during football games.
You do.
You always put on the group text, somebody blows.
You believe this shit? Not even going to cover.
Hey, Will, in Jersey, Will.
Hey, what's going on, Ron? Hi, Gail.
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I agree with Gail and disagree. I think, working as a counselor, I see a lot of kids, like, pulling out their phones for everything. And the only older person that doesn't have any etiquette is my mom. She'll pull it out in the restaurant.
Yeah, that's what, like, that's kind of... Yeah, that's kind of to my point, is that I've noticed that, like, people over the age of, like, 50 struggle more with realizing, like, hey, that thing that you're doing is antisocial.
Because I'll tell you why. Is like, we grew up in a thing that when the phone interrupted, it was normally a big deal.
That
right?
could be the reason.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
always
but,
a big deal. Like, the phone is ringing. I better get the phone. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what it's like to not have something go to voicemail. But I remember and if a phone rang in the middle of the night when I was a kid, you were like, oh, fuck.
Right.
This is terrible.
A fucking emergency.
I'm going to pick up the phone for the worst fucking news. Here's the other thing that you guys have no idea. Do you know what it's like just to have a phone in the kitchen where other people hear you? Imagine you're 15, 16 years old and you're like, yeah, I'm probably only going to want half that. Yeah. Or if you're in there, you're on the phone, like right away it's like, Ronnie, girls on the phone. You're like, yeah, me too. Yeah, my son I did. You know what I mean? You just don't want anything that could go, because that was like, you were so exposed.
And then you could see, someone squinting, like your mom squinting as she's trying to figure out the other half of the conversation.
Right. And she just hears me like, I'm not paying because it wasn't everything you said it was. No, I'll fucking kill you too. I'll kill you. Here is Jeff in New Orleans.
Hey, Ron. How you doing, buddy?
Cool.
I was calling to let you know, I think that, and I'm wondering y'all's opinion on this, the way that everything, the internet, phones, everything's at the tip of your fingers now, to where you can just get to where you need to be, what you need to see, and everything's exposed. Are we as a society going to get to the point where we're like, man, this is just too much shit?
No.
We need to start kind of coming in and not being so out there and
no. The answer is no. Progress never rolls backwards. I remember my grandparents trying to tell my parents there was something wrong with us for watching TV. And they were like, they just sit and look at that thing. They're insane because they didn't grow up with TV. It's not that they didn't enjoy TV. They just didn't immerse themselves at the level that my generation did.
Right.
Is, shh, the TV's on. Why are you talking to me when there's a box talking and glowing?
It's so much more entertaining.
I mean, if you ever looked through a window somewhere and saw 4 people staring at a TV, it's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like Black Mirror. Even though the TV's been around, 60 years, 70 years, it's still a weird concept. I mean, it's still in the history of the planet a very weird thing. It's very new. And now people are like, why would I look at a TV when I can look at this phone right here? And now you're not even sharing that viewing. Like, people are now looking back like, well, we were great. Our whole family watched TV together. Right. We all sat there watching Flipper like a family. Not 4 different phones and 4 different shows. Nothing really breaks out now because everybody's looking at different things.
Yeah, it's a fragmented, interests are fragmented. So you have more of an opportunity to reach someone, in a time that you
will
couldn't
reach someone.
But it's not always the most unifying thing because you're like, yeah, I'm into this other thing that I can see all of or watch all of.
And it really makes you judge people now. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's what you watch and listen to?
That's what you don't want. You don't watch this.
When you have everything to watch and listen to? Like, that's the truth. Yes. Like, when someone's into something bad, I never really thought about it. It's like, at some time you would have been like, oh, well, that's what's on the radio. Or, hey, that's the TV shows that are out. But now you literally can watch or listen to anything you want. And that's what you choose. Why?
It's what I think the science fiction movies really got wrong when they always acted like there would be one government TV thing sending you messages. But the fact is, you're also getting messages from all those little things as well. And most of the messages are, keep your phone on, keep checking your phone, go to your app. You know what I mean? Go to your social thing.
Yeah. I have to turn my news alert off because I got a new phone and I didn't change that the news is going on alerts. And it's like happening nonstop. And I look at it, and whether I read the article or I just read the headline, I'm like, I don't need all of this information. Like, a good 98% of it is not necessary to know. And I'm like, oh God, this thing is going off again. What just happened?
Tony in D.C., what's up?
Ronnie, you stole my thunder. I was going to disagree with Gail. Mm-hmm. I'm 55. When the phone would ring at my house, if I didn't jump up and get it, Mom or Dad was smacking me on the back of the head.
The phone was a big deal.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is that, that there's a difference in the etiquette. And, again, I'm not going to talk about teenagers because I don't really know what teenagers do, and maybe they just, live and they don't look at each other.
I think they're listening to bug music.
But certainly people, I would say, mid to late 20s, early 30s to mid 30s, I would say have an understanding of to silence their phone, to not just look at their phone when they're in conversation. Mm-hmm. And I think, first of all, just, people of a certain generation, they always just have the sounds on, which I think is interesting. My
generation is guilty of that for sure. We got to hear the phone ring and pick it up.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I think it's kind of generational. My kids who are late 20s, everything they do, they got, fingers flying over the keyboard.
Chris is doing it right now. It drives me nuts. I don't know why he's in this room. And I've said a lot of times, Chris could be in the other room. He can switch out. But he's been tapping on his phone all fucking show. What were you just tapping about now?
The phones again. There's problems with the phones.
Why don't you go over and fucking fix it then? Why don't you do that instead of tapping? Because you're, distracting here, and they're not able to figure it out in there. At some fucking point, we move.
Do a little switch around.
I don't think... I would go back to the thing as I don't think anyone who is older, and right now, if you're 25, you're probably too old to comment on the new technology. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always for the youngest possible kid. But I don't think their voice will ever be understood or cared about by the people that they're trying to convince that the technology is doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they don't have the same base of information.
They just don't care what the older person has to say.
Yeah.
And the older person is younger all the time. I just saw a thing the other day. What age do you think people say they're the happiest in this country? What age?
What age do I think people are the happiest? I'm going to say early 30s.
You're off by 40 years. 70, they say. People that are 70 are the happiest people when they do these surveys and go through it than people in their early 30s. People in their early 30s are always like, I wonder what's going to happen next. But I think as you get to be 70, you're forced to live in the moment, and you're forced to go, you know what, my legs are working now, I might as well enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can enjoy stuff when you're younger. I don't, we always warn people about their, all right, hold on, I gotta do this breaking news thing. U.S. just dropped what they are now calling the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan.
What the?
Huge non-nuclear bomb against ISIS in Afghanistan. I've never heard us describe something as the mother of all bombs.
No.
That was something like Gaddafi or somebody said that crazy shit. I don't know what we're looking at there.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Or what that was aiming towards, because it just looked like trees from that perspective. They have not done the White House briefing yet. It looks like it's just breaking news, and the briefing is going to happen soon.
So I guess this was on some kind of ISIS camp. So we've got the serious stuff going on We've got what was called an armada being sent to North Korea, which then the news kind of dropped after they brought it up.
Yeah.
And now the mother of all bombs that we just dropped somewhere on ISIS in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan has been in the news, it seems like forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
But remember, Trump said he wanted to destroy ISIL.
Mm-hmm.
Largest non-nuclear bomb on ISIS in Afghanistan. I don't know what that bomb is. If anybody does know, 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD. I don't know what makes it the mother of all bombs. I don't think that you could come along generations deep and call yourself the mother. I'd prefer the giant granddaughter of all bombs.
Right. Wow, this is very strange.
Very, very strange. Here's my buddy David. He's got some info. David, what do you got?
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie B?
Hey,
that thing we just dropped over there in Afghanistan. Okay, the Tomahawk missiles we sent over there, 59 of those. Each one of those is 1,000-pound warhead on each one of them.
Okay.
So the one bomb that we dropped is 21,000 pounds. So the blast radius of that thing is 1 mile. So every direction for a mile, whatever's within that zone, it's a concussion weapon. So what it does is basically just wind at once it explodes. So it's a major deal. Other than the nuke, that's the biggest shit we got.
So this is a 1 mile radius.
That's right, buddy.
Everything is destroyed in that 1 mile.
And I'm gonna guess this is.
And then, excuse me, Gail. And then as it goes out, it's less and less and less. But the impact radius is 1 mile wide. I mean, a circle of 1 mile, and everything after that, it depletes after that. So it kills up to about 3 miles. So it'll wound you after a mile, but you're dead within the radius. Any building or anything in that zone is gone. It's really scary shit.
All right, here's Ray in Georgia wants to jump in. Hey, Ray, what do you got?
Hey, I was going to say the same thing. They just pretty much push it out the back of an airplane with a parachute and let it hit the ground, and it tears all kind of shit up. So when that thing hit the ground, a lot of people died on the ground probably.
What do you think was ground zero there, a camp or something larger?
Probably like a training camp or, one of those kind of places. It was done to send a message, I guess, I guess Trump was swinging his dick and decided to drop one of them big ones on him.
Well, he did call that shot as he came in. I mean, this is something that he said he was going to do. Hey, Bill, what's up?
Yes, sir. My name is Bill, and I'm from Georgia, but usually the mother of all bombs on Moab in my day was a fuel air bomb.
Okay. So what happens there?
The fuel spreads out. It's usually like a gas, like a propane gas.
Uh-huh.
And settles into any cracks and crevices, and then there's a fuse that ignites, and it's hell.
You would say that it would spread the gas first before ignition?
Ignition, yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, Bill, I appreciate it. So anyway, this is just a breaking news story right now out of Afghanistan. And Chris is correct. We haven't heard anything about Afghanistan in a long, long time, even though, of course, we still have troops there. But it's something. I mean, think of the last time that you saw them show any footage from Afghanistan. It's been forever. Is that Trump talking about it now?
No.
Or no, that's just
the live is still waiting for the White House briefing.
All right.
So that must be on something else.
Well, hopefully all this leads to Vito being drafted. That would be my hope and dream.
We're going to have to really get him into shape, I think, though.
Oh, he's in perfect shape.
Oh, all right.
I don't know about that.
I've seen him run up to 6 yards at a time. And I'm putting him in a 14-yard relay race. It's 4 guys and starts early in the morning. All right, Johnny's got an update for us. Johnny in New York, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
Good, buddy.
Listen, just went to the conversation about this bombing thing.
It was actually a facility, a training facility in Afghanistan, and the bomb is meant to engage 6 feet off the ground, so to maximize concussion underground. So therefore, it's really a place where they assume there are tunnels and underground training facilities going on, that they would drop a bomb like this. It's meant for underground destruction.
I see. So there were a lot of underground training facilities there, and they wanted to make sure they took them all out at the same time.
Basically, yeah, storage facilities, training facilities, anything that's expected to be underground. That's what that bomb is used for, destruction in sort of mountainous areas where they're tunneled in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Here's Steve in Tampa. Steve.
What's up, guys? Hey, yeah, that guy just pretty much got it. They're targeting like an underground tunnel system there.
Did you have any idea something like this was coming, or is this surprising to you as well?
No, I mean, this is news to me.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's been focused on Syria.
Yeah.
You haven't heard too much about Afghanistan.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Syria, some about North Korea, which then I was surprised got quiet again.
Yeah.
And now Afghanistan to come out. But Trump did this thing yesterday after talking to the Chinese prime minister, who was like, you know what, I just found out they have a lot less power over North Korea than I thought I did. He goes, this thing is it's tricky. Thought it was going to be easy. Thought it was really going to be easy. Here's Hard Rock Johnny. Johnny.
Bennington's.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
Well, you know, I'm trying to run a war room out of here, Johnny. To tell you the truth, I'm putting maps up with pins in it.
You have to, because you know when you're dropping bombs like this. I mean, this is crazy bombing.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I think it's great. Screw them. This is like this. The Moab is. This is like the bomb, man. It used to be like this is a variant from what used to be in Vietnam. They used to drop the daisy cutter, and they dropped that into the woods, and it would knock that. You've seen the video of it, knock down all the trees. And they would do that in Vietnam, and this is kind of the same thing.
There's a press release from President Trump that's coming through right now, and it simply says, "Word to your moms, we're dropping bombs."
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
I like that he's spitting that. You know,
that's awesome.
I guess words to your moms is the main part. I mean, we know we dropping bombs. We already saw that. Yeah, but I didn't think of getting a word back to my mom about it.
Does he have more rhymes than the Bible's got Psalms?
That I didn't get that far. I'm hoping that comes in. All right, Johnny, I got to go to break though, but it's
later, Bennington's.
All right. What is it, Chris?
Live reads.
Well, you love your live reads,
At a time like this. Thanks.
Actually, I do feel good talking about this because I had to call the hotel and say, "Do you have Bowler Branch or am I packing it?" Because I said, I'll take off your scratchy sheets and bring my bowl and branch sheets from home. And I do that. I have to have those sheets.
I know.
For some people, falling asleep can be just as hard as the workday they put in, but it doesn't have to be. Great sleep starts with the right sheets, and they're more affordable than you think, thanks to Boll & Branch.
Boll & Branch sheets are crafted from 100% organic cotton. They feel incredible. They get softer over time and last for years. Boll & Branch sells exclusively online, so you don't pay for that expensive retail markup.
Try them for 30 nights, and if you're not impressed, return them for a full refund. Anyone who sleeps on Boll & Branch sheets loves them, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. The New York Times, Forbes, and the Wall Street Journal rave about them, and even 3 U.S. presidents have Boll & Branch sheets.
Go to bollandbranch.com today and get $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping with promo code COMEDY. That's $50 off, plus free shipping right now at bollandbranch.com, spelled BOLLN branch.com, promo code COMEDY.
Hey, dude, if you can't fucking do that, step out, all right, man? Too hard?
No, I got a text from Chris that I needed to do something for him right as we were coming back.
Okay, but you still got to run your board in there.
I know.
You know what, everyone? Everyone needs a vacation. We have to go do Moon Tower, but after that, it's vacation. We waited 3 weeks too long this year. Everyone, he just went and punched a table. Why are you punching tables?
No, I'm sorry, but no reason. Just mad at myself.
You're mad at Chris?
No, I'm mad at myself because I wasn't looking up.
You don't have to. It's one of those shows that you don't have to pay attention to. Me and Gail thought we were on the air and we were talking about Big J and how happy we were with him. And then Chris went over, punched a window instead of letting us know. He keeps letting us be a couple of idiots.
Right.
You could have said we're not on the air.
Well, I wasn't sure if we were not on the air or not. I had a suspicion we weren't, but I had to go look to see if we were or not.
Is that why you punched the window?
Well, I had to tap to get the attention. I couldn't just wave.
It wasn't a tap, and it was
And then later he
terrifying to us.
punched the table. So right now, judges are calling you both a draw.
You guys-
Everybody's edgy and weird. We all need a break.
We do need a break. Austin, and break.
Anyway, and I'm just so sick of... Big J is going to be performing at the Comedy Jam on Thursday night at Moon Tower. Also, Dan Soder is going to be there.
Very cool.
And I know what song he's going to be doing.
You do know?
Mm-hmm.
Can you spoil or you can't spoil? You can't spoil.
I'll just leave it at that. Sklar Brothers are also a part of that, too. And, of course, Josh Adam Myers, who's a legitimate rock star. Okay, enough plugging for me. Thanks. No more plugging today. All done plugging.
We're all plugged out.
Spicer's up, too, by the way, if you want to go to any of the stations that are there and check out what he has to say. But Chris actually handed in this story yesterday that that when we jumped over and took a look on Google, World War III is one of the number one things that people are Googling.
World War III has been Googled more now than since Google Trends have existed, which has been, I guess, the last, 15, 20 years.
That's really, I always think that's interesting when, for example, you can tell from just, the things that people are searching for, where the collective unconscious is. People searching for how to become, a citizen of Canada right after the election. Shit, here's something I've decided to be worried about.
War III. Where do I hide?
There are bunkers near here.
What do I do about it?
Well, it's been a long time since us and China and Russia all started jawing each other.
Yeah. And, you don't want all the big boys fighting on the playground at the same time.
No, not at the same time. Yeah,
and not
they
with
could
each
end up-
other.
Yeah, start falling over on the little kids. The Trinidads of the world.
Oh, no, not Trinidad.
Mm-hmm. Trinidad, their army just got a new fish net. So there's a war right now against seafood.
I think they're winning.
Let's turn our attention away from it.
All right.
What else is going on? Because I got Chris tense, I got Vito tense.
It's 2 tense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you guys seen the video of the little girl riding the carousel?
Yeah, this is fucking hilarious.
I feel like this will put everyone in a good mood. Everybody.
I don't know. I find it to be depressing, if I'm being totally honest.
But it's depressing in a way that I think we can all extract some joy. Yeah. So this little girl riding or merry-go-round, as some people say. Dragging herself along the side.
It looks like something you might do in a pool, but she is holding on to the little merry-go-round on the outside of it and just letting her drag her face down. And most mothers would freak out if they saw their kids doing that, not try to go viral.
But it feels like a complete analogy for adulthood. Just like...
Well, I'm here.
Well, I guess I'll just drag my way through this.
That's kind of funny, the analogy of, that's me going to work in the morning. That's the way I travel. I just hold on to the outside of a subway train with my face down in the gravel and let it pull me along.
Who cares anymore?
Yeah, turn the sound down. I don't want to hear her mother so excited that she's gone viral.
Oh, that is like a really weird thing.
I can't stand it.
A viral video can be ruined if you feel how eager the person is for it to go viral.
There's only one way that it doesn't, and that's when a black man is young and world star.
And then you're like, this actually works in your favor.
When he stops someone from getting mugged, you know what I mean? Like, when he stops someone from stopping the mugger, you know, because he doesn't want to fuck up his video. All right, there is a big war of comedy titans taking place right now. Louis C.K. and Tig.
This is an interesting argument. So this is about the SNL piece that was up this last Saturday where Louis C.K. hires a clown for his adult birthday.
Yeah. And it's... you know, I mean, it's not the edgiest, most groundbreaking thing of, you know, it's clown humor.
Yes, but, you know, it was pointed out that Tig Notaro has a short film that she made that is very similar, same premise.
She would be playing the Louis part?
I believe so, yeah. I've not seen it. But I had a similar feeling about it. Like, I was like, well, you know, as just a premise, I wouldn't say it's the most... out of, you know, like it's not out of left field. Like that seems like something that two people could come up with the same idea. But what really made it interesting is that Tig spoke out about it and she's like, look, one of the writers on SNL knows that this thing exists and has seen my film. So at the very least, you could say if somebody came up with this premise, this person should have said, oh, this kind of already exists, and it's currently out there, and she's been screening it. The other thing that I thought was interesting is that she makes a statement about Louis C.K. in it, that she says, and by the way, I have not spoken to Louis C.K. in a year and a half. And I thought that was like the more interesting part of this, that she kind of sets it up like there was a parting of ways between the two of them. Because he was the one, you know, he had put out her special, you know, after she had talked about her cancer and she had done that special. That went up on his website.
She also, I think he also was a producer on her Amazon show.
Yes, I think he was, yeah. So two people that you would have been under the assumption would have a good relationship.
Or at least a relationship.
Right, at least a working relationship.
Yeah, but even if it's a bad relationship.
But then she throws out that statement, and it's not necessarily like, I blame Louis for this, but it was a very weird moment, and she's like, I haven't spoken to him in a year and a half. And it felt like there was something deeper there that she was trying to convey about her feelings about it.
You went a little deep on it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I remember 40 fucking years ago, GrooveTube did a thing where a clown is like talking like an adult. Albert Brooks did a thing where he was trying to be a clown for, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not the edgiest, most interesting idea.
I agree.
That you've ever heard. It's been around, you know, because everybody looks at a clown and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like...
No one in history has laughed at a clown. That's a fucking fact. That's science saying that. Science has come out. And wait, let me find out. Okay. The Science Institute of the world has said no one has ever laughed at a clown.
I believe it. I mean, they're not actually funny. They're creepy or annoying or just weird.
All right, let's think this for a second. Do you think that a woman has ever had sex with a clown in full makeup? It's had to have happened, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Disgusting. That woman and clown are both disgusting. And this is science I have from the Science Institute of Earth.
There's a clown fetish, man.
There isn't a clown fetish.
There's clown porn.
Where?
I'll fucking search clown porn right now.
But you don't know this. You're just saying you think.
Have you seen a clown porn?
I've seen a clown banging.
You're as bad as Tig and Louie.
No, I'm not.
You can't back it up. What's that?
I will search clown porn in Pornhub and it'll come up.
Clown porn.
I will just search the term.
Well, how many pages will there be?
There will be at least 16 pages of clown porn.
16 pages.
Fucking way.
Look, I'm with you that there might be clown
I don't think you
porn.
can find 16 pages if you just put in missionary.
I'm just typing clown porn.
Do you need to write porn when you're searching?
That is.
I mean,
He
you
is
might
kind of right there. It's like if I go to ESPN, I don't have to say football game.
Right. First thing, sick and twisted clown gets blowjob and fucks girl inside. That's a guy in a clown suit banging a chick.
Inside what?
More clowns. Clown. There's a clown with two people. There's just a clown and a gangbang.
All right, let's go down and count pages now.
All right, so I'm going to go to 10. So there's at least 10. There's 15.
I want to see that there's still clowns.
Yeah, I don't see any
clowns now. You've moved on to similar things.
All right, I'll go down. I'll go back. I'll go backwards.
Well, why? You've already seen 16. You don't have it.
You don't have 16.
So you owe us $1,000.
That's what you
Every
bet.
time I bet, it means $1,000.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
There's a minimum at this table. Look at this. We're at 9 and there isn't any.
Right. Oh, let's see how many actual
There's
pages.
fucking one page.
There was one page.
That's still impressive.
No, it isn't. When
If you would have sat there and said, there's at least 20 different clips that are going to come up, you could have had it.
Here's the thing. If he would have said to me, hey, Ron, come over. I'll bring 16 beers. And he had one beer and then yelled at me. It's still impressive. You're at page 3 and the clown makeup is gone.
All right. Looks like there's about... Yeah, all right. So you get to page 6 is the last time there's... And this guy just has the clown mask on, actually.
There's no one... These fucking... I don't know. I kind of feel like the women are sicker than the fucking clowns.
Yeah, because it's consensual. Clown rape, I'd buy.
Now,
Captive
if
Babe.
you were into clown porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you expect white makeup on the penis?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think it ends at the neck?
Or at least, like, when you squeeze it, it goes...
That happens anyway. From the war.
I would want white makeup on the shaft and then on the head.
But what about the
red.
belly, the chest, the ass? Do you want the white makeup to go all the way down?
Yeah, I do. I think
I think they come across.
Because the implication is they have white skin.
Yes. The implication isn't that it's a white face and white hands. It's crazy white all the way through. Almost corpse white.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. That's why they wear, like, the high ruffled neck and, like, like they cover their skin. It's like, they're like, yeah, but you assume that under this, I'm all white. Chalky white.
So creepy.
Maybe some googly eyes down there.
They're not monsters. They don't have eyes on their dicks.
Or like a bow tie.
Did you say you wanted the head to be red?
Yeah.
Like the clown nose.
Like
That's
the
what you're
clown
saying.
nose. Yeah. I think that would be apropos.
Well, it looks like you really fucked up with clown porn, Chris.
I mean, all right, look. I should have just taken the fact that, yeah, it exists as opposed to throwing out 16 pages. I was going big.
Look, now I just feel like you're just watching clown porn. Like now he just has a clip and it's just running.
Steve from Philly says this. Who cares? If you have a clown sketch no one ever sees, do you really have a clown sketch? There is some truth to that. Because I remember thinking the other night, well, this is beneath them.
Yeah, I don't find the argument to be that interesting, only because it does seem like a pretty easy premise.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something going on there that's not being said.
Yeah.
Why haven't they spoke? Why did she feel the need to say it? What's going on?
I think if someone said, did you do the clown sketch first, you should just go like this. Excuse me, I have to go into the bathroom and then dive out the fucking window. I didn't think anybody would see that clown sketch that we did. I gotta admit, though, I am a big fan of Krusty the Clown.
Krusty's funny,
He's
sure.
the best.
But he's funny when he's not being
dying.
his clown.
When he's dying on stage.
Yeah, that's it.
I paid for these jokes. That always kills me. Fucking show's never going well.
But anytime he's trying to be funny, not funny.
I want you here by me. Let me tell you, go back and watch the Big J thing when he did Comedy Jam there on Comedy Central. And take a little notice to his eyelashes. They're very long, curly, and dare I say breathtaking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think that maybe SNL stole that sketch from him based on his eyelashes?
That I don't. That, you know what? No, you're right. They must have known that he had done an eyelash bit.
When's the last time you talked to Louis?
Year and a half.
Oh, shit.
Year and a motherfucking half. We put the Louis Unmasked up on iTunes, and it's really interesting to go back and hear it now.
Yeah, because this was just after Lucky Louie, right? Or during that time?
When Lucky Louie didn't get picked up.
Right.
I think the reason that he agreed to Unmasked is that we were going to talk about Lucky Louie, and then the show didn't get picked up. But I can't be positive of that. But his attitude was very, very interesting. There's a lot of stuff that he was saying that you can look back on now and go, oh, you know, he was ready to break out.
Yeah, he was ready to do his own thing.
They weren't going to beat him.
Yeah, and like once he got that in his head that's the way he was going to do things. Like
I think it was even in his head before, and just Lucky Louie just didn't turn out, but he kept going.
Right, that was like the inciting incident to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing, produce that shit myself.
And his stand-up exploded since then. His stand-up got way bigger.
Yeah.
Since then, anyway, it's up on iTunes. Much like Gail Meets Girls is.
Mm-hmm. Both are.
Vito, I haven't talked to you all day except to scold you, and I don't mean to. I felt bad when you punched the table.
It was an overreaction on my part.
No, you know what? This fucking entire show seriously needs to lay down for 5 minutes. We're tapping our phones all day. We're just, you know, we never got around to giving out that prize that we said we're going to. We're just out of our minds. So what's something you would like to talk about?
Well, I was outside yesterday.
Okay, that's great. So what we're saying is, have you ever been outside?
No.
Rock God.
It's what?
Outside, inside. What's the best side? 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. Are you an insider or are you an outsider? Tell us. 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God.
That's not the point of it. The point was, I was just like feeling the spring and wondering.
Bed spring?
No, just like the spring air, you know, springtime bliss. And wondering if there's a perfect temperature.
Yes, 72 degrees. That's why we set. By the way, did you notice our guest was too cold today?
I did. I saw her that she was.
Is that why you leapt up and brought the
No, I didn't.
air to a more comfortable place?
I did not.
But at least we're observing what went wrong. So yes, we consider 72 degrees to be the perfect temperature.
Although I will say for me that is not the perfect temperature.
Yeah, but it has to be.
Yeah, that's like what the average that we've all.
Yes, or the median.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it's the average or the median.
I don't know the difference.
844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. What's your favorite median number? 844 Rock God. We'll put all the numbers down and come up with your favorite median, the median of that.
No, but I mean, like, if it's like springtime, would you prefer a really hot spring, or do you want that nice breezy air that you usually get?
844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. What kind of weather do you want? Go ahead.
Or in the summer, do you like it when it's a little chilly?
I like the way the mountains feel in the summer. Okay? Like, my favorite temperature is summer in the mountains, where it's like cool in the morning. You can swim during the afternoon, and it gets nice and cool at night. I like it less than the seasonal average of the summer.
So, like, a city hot is just too much.
City hot is
too fucking hot for anybody.
I'd rather be in a desert.
Yeah,
I would still rather a city hot than like moist, wet hot.
No, I disagree.
But tell me where you think moist, wet hot happens.
Okay, look,
jungle. Jungle hot.
I couldn't take Epcot for a day. It was too much for me.
I take offense. That's my natural
so
habitat.
You're saying you couldn't handle Florida?
I couldn't handle Florida. The humidity.
It's a hard summer.
The humidity is way too much for me. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's humid out, I sweat way more and I'm much stickier.
Yeah, but that might be good for you. You need to get some of those.
Get those toxins out.
Yeah, you're just filled with impurities. 844 Rock God. What impurities do you think that Vito has in his body?
All of them.
What does he need to sweat out? Could you sleep overnight in a steam room? Vito? Would that be your perfect night? To put on some wool pajamas and go in, get under a blanket and sleep?
No, that's my nightmare.
I wear some footy pajamas. Like, make sure the feet are definitely in socks.
It's nice and
All
slow.
right, what is your perfect temperature if you say 72 isn't?
I would say 87 degrees.
Oh, God.
I like a really warm day. 90s is like...
And what do you like inside? You don't want it to be 87 in your place.
What I would like it to be, 79, 80.
She doesn't even like air conditioning.
I don't.
That's fucked up.
She puts an air conditioning up for her dog, not for her. And she doesn't put it where she sleeps.
Yes.
You
I
have an
keep
AC in your bedroom?
No.
I don't have an AC in my bedroom. I have one in my living room, which I bought because I have a dog and she does not like the heat. And I want her to be comfortable.
Can I just say
I
this?
don't like it.
Ouch that you said you bought that air conditioner.
Oh, no. It was a gift.
Yeah.
We haven't moved today, Chris. We're not moving. You're staring at it as if that could help. If at once you would get up, switch, you're not going to do it now.
Okay.
It's fucking happened, but I gotta get you guys moving. And you know I'm not trying to fight today.
I know.
But the stupidity of the language, the fact that we've had phone problems the entire show was insane. People don't move, people don't act like you guys are acting today. We all need edification that we talked about. The phones have been a fucking mess all day long.
It's just technical
I saw
issues?
12 lines go up and 12 lines go down, but he doesn't get up and move. He's the fucking producer.
You need to get someone.
You know how to switch out? You know how to be
Yes.
the grown-up. But I just saw you glaring at the phones as if you were angry. And this is what I'm talking about instead. Vito, you have a winner for the fucking super tweet?
I have the winner for the super tweet. It is Hickman Bell. At Hickman Bell 5, he's the winner of the super tweet. The very charming at Carrie Coon was absolutely wonderful on that Bennington show.
What's he win?
He
Let's
wins Cape
figure it
Fear, signed by Jessica Lange.
Okay, that should have been, there's the lead. There's the fucking lead. So we just gave away a Cape Fear. It sounds angry instead of fun and fucking cool.
It is, but it is. And it was good super
It's great branding. Hey, Jack, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Gail.
Hi.
Ron. Gail, your laugh makes me happy every day.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yours?
Let me tell you, though, I have a backup air conditioner in my garage just in case the main unit goes out.
Smart. That's smart.
We would die without it.
Now, where do you live, Jack?
Alabama.
Now, if you hate the heat, why did you choose Alabama out of the whole country?
Just born here.
So
Birmingham's home.
Yeah. Well, Birmingham, they love the governor, you know. I know that from the song.
Got a new one.
Oh, yeah, I love Gov. Is in jail, right?
No, he's not going to jail. He copped a plea deal, lost his retirement, has to do 100 service hours, be in a physician, that kind of stuff.
And they took away his ass dildo.
Yeah.
He used to sit on a dildo in his office and rock back and forth.
What?
While he was doing
Looks like
the
Mr.
state's
Burns.
work. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And a backup air conditioner or their air conditioning in case it went out. Chris in Orlando.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, man.
Yeah, just wanted to talk to you about, sweaty genitally moist hot, because it is here. And how you were saying old mate went to Epcot and he needs to sweat out his impurities. Well, myth busted, because I actually got involved with my wife's girlfriend. Well, not got involved. She encouraged me to go to Bikram yoga, which was like working out in a hot vagina. And after 3 days, 3 sessions of every fibre in my body screaming at me to get out, I Googled it because I thought after smashing the alcohol over Christmas, I thought, yeah, great way to sweat out impurities. I later found that the only way you secrete impurities and toxins through alcohol and other vices is shitting or pissing it out. So don't go to Epcot thinking that you're going to sweat out your impurities because you're just going to lose all your valuable salts and shit. So you might
I have always heard that you can sweat out impurities.
Yeah, I thought you could too.
I thought that was the whole reason you take a steam.
Yeah, and Bikram is that's like hot yoga, right?
Salt. Yeah, you're just going to lose the good stuff, the minerals and the salt.
But why do you feel so much cleaner and smoother after you take a steam? You ever notice that?
Yeah,
like you take a sleeve, you come out of it, you get a nice fucking cooler shower, and you're like, oh, my body feels great.
And I always thought that was the purpose of the hot yoga. So that's the yoga where they turn the temperature up.
That's the Bikram, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you sweat it out, I guess. I mean, you're going to lose some weight doing
it. It smells like an old sock, and it's no good for you. You just burn your chi too quick. So it's misbusted, thanks to Google. I don't know if these are correct either, but the only way you can get rid of those toxins is pissing or shitting. You know.
Well, I got to tell you right now, you just blew my mind. I'm going to send you into the pretty good prize closet.
Yeah!
Chris, you're going into the pretty good prize closet. Ow! Fred in Connecticut. Fred. Good, Fred. Oh, my God!
What?
Oh, my God, that's frightening. We'll take a break. Back, Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Henry Zebrowski is in studio. He's the star of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, which airs Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim and Henry's podcast. Last podcast on the left is available now on iTunes.
And big news, Chris. Just got nominated for a Webby Award.
And nominated for a Webby.
For Best Comedy Podcast. And we are definitely a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
So people can go out and vote.
They can vote right now, and it's going to be close. And not like Hillary Clinton's going to be close. You know what I mean? Like, we need to really do this. We need to solidify this. We need to get the votes out there.
Well, do you know who else is in the running for this? Do you know who?
All fantastic shows.
Yeah.
It's all Two Dope Queens. It's a really good show. My Dad Wrote a Porno. Really super funny show. Some of the funniness of depression, something like that. The hilarity of depression. I don't know. But I can't plug them. I cannot plug them. Even though
we just want to know how deep this competition goes.
It's pretty deep. We're the only non-corporate entity.
Oh, sweet.
Everything else has been as a gigantic company. We're a completely independent podcast network called Cave Comedy Radio that started about 8 years ago. That has just been, we have no corporate funding. We work in the bottom of a Mexican restaurant. That is, it's all us just made it with our bare hands. It's like I came here from the mother country. I make something of America. I'm the success story.
Yes, you are the guy. You're the standout guy.
Yeah, look at me. I got I got shoes on. I got many pins. These enamel pin companies. I've been buying them up $6.99 a pop.
I noticed that we're rocking, we're both doing the enamel pin thing.
Me likey the enamel pins thing. And I don't know why. It's because it's instantly sort of like weird branding for yourself. Where it's just like, I was sitting in a bar in Atlanta called the Yacht Club, which is my favorite bar in Atlanta, and I talk about it on the podcast all the time. And randomly, fans found me there. They knew it was in Atlanta, and they said, if we stake out the bar, Henry will eventually show up. And I did. And then the dude's like, I found this thing, and it's an old John Wayne Gacy Pogo the Clown enamel pin, and he just gave it to me. He's like, you got to put this on your jacket so everybody knows how much you lust for death. And I was like, thank you. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And that started it for you? Or that was the beginning? Like, now I love... Yeah, what is it for you? What are you wearing there? What are you rocking?
Okay, so I have a little witch hat because I am a bit witchy. And then this is a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Awesome.
Like circa, like Romeo and Juliet era.
Yeah, the fresh one.
Yeah. The one that I fell for.
And that's what you want to say to the world.
Yes.
Leo was once young.
He
wasn't always 43 years old.
Yeah.
He used to look like this.
I tell you what, though, he's a young 43.
Yeah,
he's tight.
Is.
Yeah, he is. He still has that baby face, which is kind of a weird way to age. Just like older baby face.
Yeah, it's like balder baby with like lower balls. You know what I mean? He's just a big old gangly baby on a city bike.
And yet, his penis has never came close to even a 9.9. And the women that he dumps are intimidating and beautiful.
Yeah, that was disturbing for me as a youngster because I fell in love with him.
Right.
And then, like when you're young enough to crush on somebody who was a celebrity, you're like, if he could just meet me, we would just like fall instantly in love.
It was like your first
and then,
big...
like it was that first like just being gaga, like pictures of him in my locker kind of thing. And then when I realized like, there's kind of a trend of the women he's dating.
That's a trend. He doesn't seem to just like sleep with teenage young fans.
Yeah.
It seems to be these like fish-mouthed, alien-looking like cover models.
Yeah.
Beautiful Israelis seems to be his thing. They're like gorgeous and Israeli.
And I mean, even by middle school, I was like, I don't think I'm going to have the height for this.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
I'm like not growing, so it's not going to work out.
Yeah, you need to be a model with military training.
2 years. 2 year minimum. Yeah. Hopefully they won't get the mother of all bombs that we're dropping right now.
In this moment.
I feel it. I'm just glad that we're making America great again. And that's what it's about. It's going back and making new, fresh, cool bombs.
Yeah, well, I missed the first 2 world wars, but my problem is, like the Woodstocks, the world wars get worse as you move along.
Oh, yeah.
And I really feel like this is Woodstock 99.
Yeah,
you know?
like that was one like that I got to be witness. I was very excited. I was like, cool, we get a Woodstock.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, so rapey though.
Yeah,
this one
rapey.
is so much more rapey than I think the
so
last
much
one
more
was.
Green Day than there should have been.
Yeah.
You know, so much mudslinging too.
So much G-Love special stuff.
We're running a campaign here.
Yeah, this is serious.
All right, Henry Zebrowski is in studio. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell airs Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim. And Henry's podcast, last podcast on the left, is available on iTunes and it's been nominated for a Webby Award for Best Comedy Podcast. Go to webbyawards.com.
Yes, it has.
Henry,
Yes, it has.
I don't want to tell you can't bring a posse, but that guy's starting to weird me out a little bit.
Hell yeah, Gary Mask. Talk about this weird psychic sexual power that comes from having a bunch of people wear your face as you as another character. It's very strange.
I guess it is, right? But the Satan thing is quite sexual to a lot of women.
It's helped me.
Yeah,
I feel I'm a registered Satanist. I believe in it. I'm a chaos magician. Me and my girlfriend both practice magic in the house. We have altars. As you can see, I have a chaos magic symbol on my jacket, and I wear a pentagram at all times to protect me from priests. Even though I have aged out.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice. Just kind of get that pressure off.
It's nice, but you don't want to feel like you're the only one not picked. I had that once in school and it hurt.
You did the same thing. As a kid, I was an altar boy. All the other altar boys, there was a gigantic molestation scandal in our church, and I was one of the only ones that wasn't.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. That seems hurtful in a weird way.
I was charming.
Now you practice magic, and what does that exactly mean?
How do you boil it down? There is, I jerked off on a magic symbol in order to release Orgon energy to get a roll that I got.
And it worked out.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And before that, you were not into Satan at all.
Satan's just like, it started off kind of like a fun idea, and then I read the Satanic Bible, and the Satanic Bible's hilarious. Number one by Anton LaVey. It's like a funny thing. The rules make a lot of sense. It's mostly just like, don't hurt people, they won't hurt you, respect your own bullshit. It's making fun of the idea of the ritual of the church, which is really great because again, I was an altar boy and I remember just being like, this is stupid. Like I was sitting there and it's the funnest version of atheism. And then eventually you start reading more and more about, I got very much into this concept that, reality is a hologram. Right. And if you can understand how to sort of hack the programming of reality, you can change your life for the better. And I will say that's like, my girlfriend's a 5'10" stunt woman. You know what I mean? If you can't see it in the world of radio, I am shaped like Dr. Robotnik. Like I'm the Hollywood version of Dr. Robotnik. And so that kind of shit kind of happens. It's like, it's very strange. It's like, and I have like mantras that I do, and then I meditate, and then I do a lot of readings, and I keep a journal, and then a dream journal is really important, and shit like that. And it's mostly like living your life with symbolic meaning. That's kind of the idea of being a magical practitioner. Or the idea that like there's such a thing as coincidences, that everything can be kind of read into, and whether or not it's true or not, it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah. I remember when I started reading the Joseph Campbell stuff, where it was like the power of mythology. Wasn't so much what the myth was, but these myths exist over and over and over, and there's something powerful. There's something that we need to do. It kind of turns a key in us if we pay attention to it.
And it's deep within our DNA somehow. It's like a kind of a physicalized memory that we have that you can access. And a part of it is using archetypes, like they talk with Joseph Campbell and like Edgar Cayce, and like all these people like talking about the idea of accessing those dormant parts of our DNA using symbolism, because that's kind of what magic does. The idea is that our brain works so much more effectively when we use symbols and images rather than words, and like, cause there's something about it and ritualistic behavior that's happened since the beginning of like mankind.
And I always think that's it's weird that people have like a strange reaction to that, because calling magic or spell or prayer, it's all the same thing.
Right.
Like it's strange that somebody would say like, oh, that sounds bizarre, but if somebody says, I pray about this, nobody goes, what the who are you?
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But it's like eventually but it's true. It's because there's certain things that have become okay by society where it's kind of fun. That's why it's more fun to don the idea of being a Satanist and a chaos magician, because then you're purposefully kind of like an antagonistic person against all of that horseshit, against that hypocrisy.
Yeah.
The idea that you one way is okay, that your Christian beliefs, the Christian Judeo beliefs are fine, but anything alternative is not. And honestly, it's helped so many people. It helps you with confidence. It helps you with getting what you want out of life. It helps you, but like, there's something about living this way, like living this weird of symbolic meaning. When
And
you get
also,
shit that you
there's
want.
always been a thing of going for the scary symbols, right? So if you look like, what they do with the Night of the Dead and all that, I mean, you take the stuff that scares you and then you put it on. You know what I mean?
And there's power in that. It's about in the Satanic Bible, he talks about all times, like how Satan has kept the church in business all these years, and that it's fun to be the constant antagonist. It's like you have to tell the villain story. The villain story is just as important as the hero story, and there's a lot of power in taking it on and deciding, being like, I'm going to absorb all conflict by being the quote-unquote bad guy.
Yeah.
And the dark stuff of each religion and practice is always its most interesting stuff. Like, what makes Catholicism interesting is the dark stuff.
The fucking devil, man. The fucking, you sitting there, you're watching a man, a very hot, blonde, blue-eyed man being flayed on a giant medieval torture device. His blood drips down. A man who cannot touch you with a weird, like, ritualistic costume on drinks the blood out of a goblet. It's pretty fucking metal.
Yeah, it really is.
It is metal.
Yeah.
Chris, plugging away.
Henry Zebrowski's in studio. Henry's podcast, Last Podcast on the Left, is available on iTunes, and it's been nominated for a Webby Award. Go to webbyawards.com to vote. That's for Best Comedy Podcast. And Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell airs Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim.
How much was this exact thing your pitch to Adult Swim?
Oh my God.
Word for word.
They've just been like, so what about commercials? Like, they can't handle it.
Yeah.
But this isn't my show. It's like, this is Dave Willis and Casper Kelly created the show. And these are the guys that did Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, and Too Many Cooks. So these guys made this show. When I auditioned for the show, I had just kind of started on this journey, and I booked this show and Wolf of Wall Street in the same exact month. And something happened. It's when I started doing ritualistic magic stuff was when it was kind of all happening at one time. And then Dave Willis and he just didn't understand that I was into this shit, and then I was also an improv comedian, and then our sense of humor kind of completely blended. So now it's like I have a lot of creative control over Gary, my character, so I can add a lot of
right, because they're like, okay, you get it. You're you came in getting it,
and I'm just being the human version of Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy.
Right.
Fun. Yeah.
Also, Eddie Pepitone on the show is just so phenomenally funny as well.
He's
kind of built for it.
He's a screaming perfect comedy entity. He's so fucking funny, and he's just got a great yelling voice.
Yeah, he does.
He's perfect to be tortured. I asked him this. We were at dinner for the premiere, and I was like, honestly, Eddie, I know it's bad to be vulnerable with you, but how do I be as funny as you are? And he's just like, just experience a lifetime of pain.
I think it's so funny that if there's anything that's agreed upon now, it's Eddie Pepitone.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter whether you're with the art people, the mainstream people.
He appeals to both.
Everybody, yeah.
Because all he does is drop killer lines. That's all he ever does is crush. I've never seen him bomb.
Yeah.
Every time I go out, he's got everybody. He did the improv in Buckhead, Atlanta, which is like the squarest of square places. Mm-hmm. These are like people on Atlanta dates, right? So everybody in Atlanta is kind of like a uniform. It's like, dude's got like a finely cropped beard, plaid shirt folded into jeans. They're like nice little design, well-hemmed jeans. He's got little brown shoes. Like the girls are all done up. It's like very specifically Southern, put together, like very like well. And then Eddie walks on stage, who looks like a homeless man to them. Like they look at this, he's disgusting. He walks up there, and he just destroyed. It started like a rolling, like about 3 or 4 minutes of total silence of people being like, like, do they just let this man in here because there are open bathrooms and like they just like, gave him a time because he's like he works in the kitchen? But then he just takes it.
Yeah, there's something about him. Yeah, and seeing him live too. Like, after the first time I saw him live, I was just like, I would follow this dude around like a groupie. Like, he was just like, you just want to keep being around that energy. Cause he's so, like you said, his ability to deal with anger, but also vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, if you can be both of those things.
And also honest, like oddly, like when you hear his actual philosophy, you know what I mean? There's a purity to it.
He's a real guy. And I hear he's fucking dynamite in the sack. He is just like, it's like having sex with a cruise ship. He is the best.
You know when he comes to the scream, it's not of this, not of this world at all. You know, you're starting to freak me out a little bit.
Yeah,
with the
I mean,
mask.
I think.
Yeah, look at that.
Does that give you the feeling of power wearing that mask?
I've never felt more alive.
Right? And you know what it is that you can also smell what your mouth smells like while you have the mask on.
It's very hot in here.
They did it for the Halloween parade in Little 5 Points in Atlanta. They gave out all these masks, and I just like watched this thing of all of these like guys dressed as me, as Gary, walking down like in a parade, like it's Hitler, like it's like all these people dressed as Nazis, and I felt like every comedian I think has like a little dictator inside of themselves, and I was like, yes. Yeah, like I better not have sex with my girlfriend. I will put a baby inside her.
Well, we all feel that if we were given the position of emperor, we'd do okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, if I had total power, I could do it.
I would be the Lord who listens. I would be such a good, benevolent ruler. I would give to the highways. I would give to the schools. Would I rule with an iron fist? Yes, I would. If you fucking dared cross me. Yeah. I'd kill you and your entire family. And if not, everyone eats.
Yeah. Now, this is a nice tie-in for you. The guy wearing that mask actually did the same job for Steve Bannon when Steve Bannon had his radio show here and used to put Trump on hold. And this isn't how long ago, Vito?
This was just during the election. All
right, so last year.
Yeah.
So Steve Bannon used to do a show down the hall.
That's what the trail of slime was. That was kind of embedded in the carpet.
Yes, that's how we know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. So Trump used to just call and you'd put him on hold?
So, like, we'd get a call that was like, hey, Trump's going to be calling in soon. And then I'd pick up the phone, be like, hey, Mr. Trump. He'd be like, hey, tell Steve, like, what's he want to do? I'm like, all right, hold on. Hey, Steve, Donald Trump's on hold. What do you want to do? He goes, I got some callers to get to, so tell him to just hold for 5 minutes.
Tell him the board must finish me first. Once the board is over, then we'll take his precious little call.
And then he would just say, all right, he's the boss, tell him whatever he wants.
Wow, that's so cool.
But he doesn't know him that well, apparently.
Oh, yeah,
he's the guy who works for him. He's just one of the guys at work.
Add-in.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, this guy seems cute and fun. This guy's got the charm I need to get me across the goal line.
He's just one of the fellas at work, and I don't know why you're asking me about him.
This guy? This is some guy. Yeah, I mean, I count his blotches just because it helps me go to sleep at night. This is just some guy.
It's just a regular guy.
Henry Zebrowski's in studio. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell airs Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim, and Henry's podcast, Last Podcast on the Left, is available on iTunes and it's been nominated for a Webby Award for Best Comedy Podcast. Go to webbyawards.com to vote.
And if we win the Webby Award, I will release the family I have hostage. I swear to God. If we don't, though, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's going to get bad.
I'm not responsible.
Yeah. So, are your listeners thrilled with the Webby nomination? Because that's almost like a
validation.
Validation for them as well.
Yes, for our camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they experience the same joy as I experience, but I do think that it is kind of cool to like. We started from nothing. Like, when we started doing this show, we had like 100 listeners, and then things really started to pick up about 5 years into, which is like now we're at about 7. So it took a long time for it to really rev up. And there's a lot of these guys that we've listened to have been listening to us for 7 years and have kind of known us and like watched us grow up, but like watched us become like the show's gotten bigger and bigger. And now we're at like 1 million listens per week. And that it just kind of happened because of word of mouth. And so it is really kind of special. Like, I know in the end, nothing means anything. Reality's a hologram. I'm sitting here. I could be a giraffe if I wanted to be. I mean, like, I have to remember that all the time. Like, it doesn't fucking matter because in the end it's just like we're literally just a Sims being played by a Gray somewhere.
But that is like, because I saw even Elon Musk said, yeah, this is probably true. If you look at the map, this weird concept is probably true. That we are a hologram from something on the other side of space. Was that the premise?
He had something, it was something like, he had like, what were the three postulates he said? He said either, it's like if we're not a hologram, then we'll be dead soon. Then we won't make it. He's like, but basically the idea is that if any civilization were to advance far enough, they would do some form of weird simulation program to entertain themselves. Like it would eventually be a thing if you look at reality television just as one version of that. Mm-hmm. And then it's The Sims and SimCity and all these like things where you build world building shit.
Right.
So it's like, it's either we don't make it, or we are a hologram that is a computer being played by aliens, or we're just a boring simulator and we're going to eventually run down. Like it's like this like weird. And I was just like, you must be great to date.
Yes, yeah.
Is there any good options?
Yeah.
No.
But think about that. But then if you can access the sim.
Right, if you can figure that out, then you can control it, right?
All of a sudden, I'm playing NBA basketball, and they're like, this guy's, like you'd say, oh, the Polish sensation.
Yes. Who would have expected at his age, he's suddenly
33 years old, he's the top draft pick, and it's just me, like, just dunking on LeBron being like, he's the master.
Yeah. And your feet are on fire like that, Jason.
Yeah, it's covered in rib sauce.
But even if we knew that for certain, don't you think you would still be held back? Like if you could prove that was the case, don't you think that we would still not be able to access?
When I play a video game, I don't go, oh, I'm not the person that can do this. I'm very powerful with my, you know what I mean? Like if I'm playing Madden, I'm like, please, I got a quarterback. I gotta, nail this thing. I don't doubt for a second. I'm not going to, I'll switch and win a Super Bowl with someone else. It's phenomenal. So if I could do that in real life, if I had that same amount.
Right.
Because what is most of the time, the thing that holds back anyone is fear more than they tried their best and fell short. It's more likely that they were afraid to go, I'm not ready for that now.
If you could just really believe that you have a safety net, right? It's kind of, because that's kind of what this idea is that it's understanding that fear is a concept and that you do feel, but because we all feel like, you got one chance on the globe and that's it. You got one chance at life. But imagine you could truly understand that the universe is a gigantic safety net, that it's a part of some weird hologram that we're a part of, and that what Bill Hicks said about the idea that this is just a ride. We're on a ride. You got to remember that, and that you can do anything. Except for me play the NBA, only because I got a bad knee, because I heard it when I was at West Side Story in high school.
So that will limit you even in the sim world.
Because that's a part of my stats.
Yeah.
But it's like fear of failure combined with fear of time. Like I think that time is really the thing.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Like it's moving, we feel pressure. Yeah. I didn't accomplish this by this time, or I'm running out of time to do this other thing, so I have to do this.
We just also did it to ourselves, though. Time is our we did that we made that our fault. I guess time, it could be a force, but then that's also, I'm really been getting recently the idea that everything's happening at once, and the past is happening now, and the future's happening now.
Right.
But then that's just also, I'm sober right now.
Yeah, right.
Like I did not fucking hit anything before coming in here, so.
Yeah. But it doesn't make sense that the past would disappear, does it? I mean, it is something. It's got to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You can literally make me cry about my past relationships and my past bullshit.
They're still there. You're still with that person.
It's still happening. There's a weird stream there. So I wonder. It's just mostly, but I guess it's about thought processes. And then because we live in a weird collective, a collective perception, right? It's like we're all and everybody's different perceptions make up all reality. A consensus reality is that if everyone just kind of realized that time doesn't exist. I mean, number one, work would get a lot easier. I mean, work would stop and money would stop, which is kind of the problem for our weird capitalist regimes that are possibly run by various gigantic reptilian armies that are feeding off of our bad vibes.
Right.
And I don't know if that's real or not, but I think it's real.
It's gobbling off.
I believe it.
I need more bad vibes.
There's a lot of shit in there.
But I remember when I was a kid, I always used to think, why wouldn't we try like everybody on the whole planet to sing the same song at the same time. Maybe that's when the clouds would just open and they go, all right, you got me.
You won.
You figured out.
Joan Osborne as God would be like, thank you. You know what I mean? It's like, it just depends on the song. Because then again, if it's a Clearwater channel, like what's there? Is this a Clear channel?
No, this is Sirius XM. So Clear Channel's on their own.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good, so we can say whatever we want, but it would probably have to be Taylor Swift, I imagine.
Yes, they would say this, we've done the marketing, and this is what everybody wants.
Right.
Taylor.
But you still get to, like, level up at the end. Like, that happens, and then it's like, you
can
like
move up to the next level, sure.
And all of a sudden you got fireballs.
Yeah.
You got that raccoon tail like in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
Everyone's just floating.
Slapping each other.
But I always think it's a good idea not to believe in disease, right? Just to act like, when there's a sickness go around, I always say I don't get sick. And people go, well, you've been sick before. I go, no, I don't. I don't never get sick.
But then you're heading into, that's Dianetics territory.
That's where I'm at. Me and Cruz. And we never left. There's not a lot. There's not a lot left, is there? I think Elvis's daughter is out.
She's out.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Lee's still in.
No, he's out.
He's out?
Yes,
Really?
he very comfortably got out. Yes. And he they didn't get mad at him or anything. He moved to like a small town in Texas and he goes, no, I just don't do that anymore.
That's good for him.
I wonder why he didn't get the, the pressure.
I think it's the way you go out, they say. You can't go out like Kevin James's ex-wife.
What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pay, they have a thing called freeloader's debt. That when you leave, if you're really far in, what they come out and they basically say, well, you owe us X amount of money. And essentially, like, you can pay out. It's like ending a lease.
Now, do you think Cruz is a believer 100%?
I think Cruz is a believer. I think that we just did a 4-episode series on Scientology. So I've been I've been reading about it for like a month and a half. I think he likes the perks.
Right.
He has hundreds of slaves. Like the Sea Org and the people that work for the higher up levels, like when they sign that $1 billion contract, that is thousands of people that are free labor and they will do anything. Tom Cruise shows up. It's like he has people, like, if he needs to reach something, which he does because he's 4'7", like he can use a human as a stool, like if he wants to. And who wouldn't give up that power, especially as an actor?
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate role. You know what I mean? Like that's what they even say that Scientology is so good for actors, is because basically you show up and you play the role of a great Scientologist. And I just think he's into that. And I just think that he thinks that he will be able to like jump over cars and control people's thoughts. Cause that's what they say the last levels of Scientology is like when you reach tone 40, you can tell people to do shit and they'll do shit. And mostly right now they have to because they're his employees.
Yeah, so he thinks this is working.
Yes.
All the people around me. We used to live right near Clearwater, and we're there all. And I never saw people that kept the Sea Org people. I'm not talking about regular others, but they kept to a schedule. They were always busy. They were always moving from one thing to the next. Always. This is the weird thing about them. They always waited for the light to change before they would walk. There was never a jaywalker.
No.
In the Scientology thing.
Rules.
I thought that was interesting.
Because it's about, like, their adherence to very strict rules. A part of it is that's a cult mentality, is that you keep them real and you keep them incredibly busy and you schedule their entire day. You make sure that they're not sleeping very much.
And they're
not
exhausted
eating very much.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, what you want to, because then that eliminates independent thought. Because eventually it's like you can't sit and critically think about something if you're only on 3 hours of sleep and then you have to like wash floors all day and then hours and hours of screaming at the wall and screaming at ashtrays and doing weird staring exercises and doing all of this shit. It's like you're just so tired you can't do anything. And also Scientologists believe they have a social responsibility to do everything by the book.
They're gonna save us all by that. But then doesn't that also sound like the military? It sounds like boot camp.
It does.
Where you never hear people like, hey, we had a few hours to ourselves at boot camp. It was great.
Yeah. Like I think breaking the like free thought is like one of the first goals.
Sure. Sure. Or why
shave that head.
Yeah. Or else somebody would,
cool, you look good.
You don't want anybody to go like this. No, dude, I don't think, I think if we take the hill, we could get killed. Why don't we stay down here? You want those guys just to take off and take the hill.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Well, L. Ron Hubbard said a thing. I'd rather have you dead than incapable when it came to the Sea Org members. That was kind of like what he's like, we'll just run you into the ground if you can't hack it.
No, do you get concerned when you do 4 episodes on something like this that they could see you as an enemy?
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love for them to come get me. But they won't. But also, it's like, I know about gang stalking. I know what they're doing. So it's like, I kind of have like, I think they understand I'd have too much of a good time. It's like the reason why I haven't seen a UFO or a ghost is because it's like, I would just be like, yeah. We'd be like a world star about it. Where it's just like, if the Scientologists came to harass me, I would be videotaping them and just laughing. I'd have such a great time.
Right.
But they won't do it. We're not big enough though. Because normally they go after, they view we're lesser than. We're wogs. That's the term for us. Where it's like muggles.
Really?
Yeah, where we are, because I'm actively an SP, like I'm a suppressive person, they will not, we're less than, we deserve less civil rights than they do. So they view me as like an ant.
But they get very legal when they want to, man. I mean, it just comes out of nowhere.
But, you know, even all these, like, terms that you're saying, just like in any religion, it's like that's part of what is, like, sexy about learning about a new thing like that. Like, you're like, we have our own language and we have our own lingo. It's like just that feeling of feeling inside.
If
like
you don't-
wogs, is that what we call them? Great.
If
Now I
you
know
don't
that.
fly your roods, all right, you got to make sure you fly your roods. You got to make sure no comm lags. Check, make sure you're not going to make your way up the bridge. Like, you're just not going to go clear. You're not going to make OT if you don't do the proper study tech. No MUs either.
Well, dude, it was great having you stop by here. Congratulations with everything that's happening, too.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Thank you. Yeah, and so check out Last Podcast on the Left and Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Henry Zebrowski has been in studio. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell airs Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim. And Henry's podcast, The Last Podcast on the Left, it's available on iTunes and it's been nominated for a Webby Award for Best Comedy Podcast. Go to webbyawards.com to vote.
This is Bennington. Hey, Henry was really fun, huh?
He was great.
I like weird talk.
Me too. I was like a weirdo.
I like anybody who believes that we're just a hologram.
A passionate weirdo.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always heard the song "Life is, just a dream." So how's that different than a hologram? Take off the stupid mask now.
Sorry, I liked it.
I know, but I don't like a big person in a mask. I'm being totally honest there. Even big kids, I was like, take that mask off.
Do you hate when you see like kids way too big to be trick or treating? Like when they're like, trick or treat. And you're like, come on.
Candy, dick.
What'd you call me?
You heard me. Candy.
Here, have a Butterfinger.
Do you know that Fez used to have a phobia of a child in an adult mask?
Yeah, I only remember it because his thing was he hated those kids who would be wearing the Sting mask.
It was literally
for
from
WC.
Sting.
So it would be like a tiny person with a giant Sting head, and it really freaked him out.
I would be less scared of that than an adult wearing a baby face. That would really freak me.
Ooh, there's this, I have a friend who, he does photographs of it's like sexy naked ladies and they're all wearing, different monster masks or different things. It's erotica. But there is one that he uses and it's like a really realistic looking baby head.
No.
There's a dude in Times Square that dresses as a baby. It's an adult man, and he has that mask.
I thought I just made this up to make fun of Fez, and now I'm scared of
You're going to see this thing, and
I feel like I just thought it, so it came true. Like a hologram.
It's real. It's happening. Think something good now.
I can't think of anything. I'm just thinking of worse. I just thought of a giant spider that had gunk all over it.
This guy.
It doesn't bother me too much. I thought it was gone too.
It's pretty surreal though. I don't like it.
God.
The screaming one is like where it's really
find
weird.
it off-putting.
Like baby Hitler?
Yeah.
Okay. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
There's an entire family of them.
What do we got to do to get Henry a Webby Award? I know it's important to him.
I think I go to webbyawards.com and vote for Last Podcast on the left.
I think he meant for real.
You really took it seriously.
He meant for real.
Oh, let me do it. Let me do a plug. You're tired, am I right?
I'm a little tired.
You're wired. You need your vacation. Are you going away? Oh, yes, you are going away.
I'll be in the beautiful St. Martin.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's that place that you can lay on the beach and fucking airplane goes like 12 feet over your head.
Yeah, it's really low over the beach, yeah.
It sucks up umbrellas and stuff.
Hopefully they'll suck me up.
Oh, my God.
No way.
What about you, Vita? What do you have planned?
I don't know. I know the Mets are playing a DC series, and I've always wanted to see that stadium.
Every time I talk to you, it's like talking to a child.
It's a cheap little day trip.
You just said gay trip.
You want a gay trip?
How early are you going on your gay trip to get the tour?
And why does the word gay trip make you so fucking uncomfortable?
No, it's not uncomfortable.
AIDS is over, dude. It's fucking livable now.
He's going on a gay trip. Gay trip. Gay trip.
No one uses condoms.
Dude, go back to raw dogging. AIDS is manageable.
It's fine.
I'm raw dogging.
You sure?
Everyone has HPV, I think, so
Yes.
that's fine.
And it's nothing.
Doesn't hurt a man.
No.
Right.
It's like getting your tonsils
Just
out.
like a couple women get cancer.
That's it.
So
Women. For men, it's fucking nothing.
Yeah. Just spreading the seed.
That's right. Ride the raw dog, baby. The ancient snake.
I'm going to show you one more baby picture because this is from my friend who's the photographer.
Oh, your friend's a fucking weirdo freak.
Oh, that's creepy.
And you know
as
what?
fuck.
You could get busted for that, I think. You know what I mean? It's borderline.
It's a little
acceptable.
weird. It is a little weird.
I wish I was like a master photographer. I just don't have the discipline or the vision. That's the only thing that's keeping me away from being a great photographer. What happened with McRock? Is that like a lie, Chris?
No, he's coming in later, I believe in May, is what I was told. He'll be here in May.
Tells you things like this.
Spencer tells me these
Yeah,
things.
but you tell Spencer thank you.
I will. I'm going to text him.
And tell Roland thank you for Henry, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put him on a group text.
Henry was great.
Put everybody on a group text. Everybody you know on one group text. Well, I'm off to St. Martin's, everybody.
I'll see you guys in hell.
Wish me luck. I'll be officiating a wedding down there. So weird to see Roland in long pants and an adult shirt.
Yeah, he is. He's wearing...
For years he had the same look.
Yeah, basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I saw him like a button down the other day, like a
No.
button down shirt and then full
Like a dad shirt.
a dad shirt and then full
Trousers?
pants. Yeah, like a full trouser.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a soft fabric, but it was certainly a pant.
Somebody was telling me, I don't want to, I know who it is, but I don't want to give their name away. So they're playing this club in the Midwest, and they were told no dungarees, like it was 1958. And this is what he said to me. I'm already $20,000 in debt, and then I got to go out and buy trousers. And he had to run out to some men's warehouse and get 42 regular. Isn't that fucking funny, though?
Okay, that's insane. What's their problem with jeans?
Some people,
yeah.
I mean, it used to be like that all the time. I don't think no matter, there's an expensive place in New York, you can still walk in jeans.
Yeah. And it's weird how that became the standard. I mean, these pants were made for work. That was the idea. It was
Outdoor
for
work.
Outdoor labor, cool enough, protect you from the sun.
Dude,
cool
I
enough.
find something even weirder. The amount of women in this city wearing yoga or sport pant has moved up to the high 80s. And they're not on their way to the gym.
Nope.
They're shopping. They're just living their life as if, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were training for an athletic event, and they're not.
Yes, it is a very common thing. It used to be like leggings aren't pants, and now it's just like, well, I guess they are because they are. I mean, now it's just, that's what's
You know who's
happening.
making the money off of it? Ms. Kate Hudson has her own company.
Yeah.
You'll see the commercials, and they're like these crazy pants.
Yeah.
I think Kate actually does the work. I don't know if her followers do.
And I think it's, all this Lululemon controversy is working in her
Why,
favor.
what's happening there?
Well, because they
I'm
came
missing
out with
this.
like a new line, and they were ripping like really
I
bad.
didn't know about
and
this.
so women were posting their ripped Lululemons, which of course turned into like a fetishizing of ladies showing off their ripped.
Kind of sexy. Yeah.
But yeah, they were like, this new line is they're so expensive and they rip like nothing.
Can I ask you a question? What happened to the old-fashioned sweatpants? They're just gone now? The Juicy Couture is no more?
No, not for ladies. Although I do see a man in a sweatpant or joggers. Those are really popular, and those make me uncomfortable. Like, all the complaining men did about women in leggings, and I see joggers as the new standard for men. I'm like, well, that's a boy legging.
I have a pair of joggers here.
Here?
What do you mean here?
In the office, I have a pair of joggers.
Why?
I like them. They're very comfortable. They're stylish.
Well, why would you have them at work? Why aren't they at your house?
I have a pair here just in case.
In case what? You shit yourself?
No, in case, I don't know, I want to go out for like a walk or a run. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've seen you run. You might as well leave on the clothes you have now. You ain't going to break a sweat.
I'm getting ready for the 4-yard dash.
Oh, that's not as tight as...
No, but the thing is like they're the fabric of a sweatpant, and then they cut them so they look a little bit nicer.
It looks like something that would be fun to... All right, that's ridiculous looking.
Yeah.
That looks like you should have a fucking sword and be in Paris in the 1800s.
They're usually pretty tight to the ankle, and they don't leave a lot to the imagination.
You get the outline of the male genitalia.
Yeah, you can sometimes see both cock and balls.
I can put mine on right now.
No, please.
I will say this, ladies, and you don't even have to guess. I dress to the left and right. Balls to the left, cock to the right. I tuck it in either pant leg.
Here I am stuck in the middle with you.
Let's call everybody in right now. Let's call in the whole gang.
Everyone.
I need to have talk some of today's meltdowns, because I've seen just about everybody on the show have a meltdown. I'm going to say this, Gail, you're the only level-headed person today.
I've stayed pretty cool. I stayed pretty cool today.
By the way, I only see you ever get mad at Chris, no matter what happens.
No, I've been mad at Vito.
Oh, about what? Stealing?
I don't know. We've had like a couple show-related issues where it's like, I told you.
Really?
Yeah, we've scrapped.
Good to hear. Look, we're all on the edge. Everybody needs a break. How are you guys feeling?
I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah.
She seems like she only has one mood, giddy.
Yeah, she does. And by the way, Jen and I have never fought. Me and Vito fight. Me and Chris have fought.
What about you and Connor?
Pretty vicious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, it gets physical, is what I'm saying.
I usually win.
Does anybody get along with Chris? Any one person will stand up and I go
me and Chris shared a sweet cone yesterday.
Please, I don't want to talk about the cone.
You guys only had one cone?
Yeah, we shared. This is New York City price cones.
$7 for an ice cream cone.
What the fuck are you talking about?
$7 for a fucking soft serve ice cream cone.
Daddy probably got a chocolate dip.
An ice cream cone stuck to the side of a truck for $7.
When that broad said $7.
All right, easy. Dude.
All right,
I told Connor we're sharing.
This is about you. Oh, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Two men can't share a cone.
No, and
it's
now
like sharing a cock.
This as long as you're not holding hands at the same time. It's fine.
You are. You're holding a cone
We're
together.
handing off. We're not holding.
Did you each have one fucking plug in your ear from your fucking iPod?
Oh, that is so cute.
They sell double cones.
Then we saw Jake Gyllenhaal.
How'd he look?
He looked pretty cool. He looked like we could hang out with him. I was like, come join in on this cone.
Damn it, I don't want to talk about
cone
this.
A three-way, Jake.
I don't want to talk about this. I'm never going to get over it. I'll never be over this.
I mean, I heard a lot of weird shit today with the fucking we live in a hologram and all that.
Satanist.
Nothing is weirder than two men eating a cone. Chris, if you don't have if you took him out to get him a cone, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have enough money, you just say, I decided I don't want a cone. And you give
You
the
don't
seven.
lick half
You
his
don't
cone.
fucking lick back and forth. We were
working each side.
He took the chocolate, I took the vanilla side. Makes sense.
Look, I was prepared to pay for cones, but then the goddamn woman said $7, and I was like, I don't got that kind of cash on me, lady. I got a 10.
Lady? I don't got that kind of cash.
Can I get 1.5 cones? Now, when you say cone, are you talking about cock?
No.
Because that's the way that sounds.
We're not
like they shared a cock together.
We're not double teaming some dude where it was an ice cream cone, Ron.
2 dudes, 1 cone.
It was 2 dudes, 1 cone.
That is disgusting.
In the middle of the street.
You fucking buried the lead. You started talking about Jake Gyllenhaal as if that
And then
was
Jake Gyllenhaal showed up.
I don't even want to hear his name because I still am so mad at
You look
myself.
so happy
Because how
walking through town.
I was honest honestly so upset at myself that I didn't just give myself the cone.
I told them. I was like, she's going to be mad at you.
Now you know if you want a cone, get the cone.
Fucking mad.
And here's the thing. That you probably would have come up with $14 because you gotta.
I would have to pay for everyone's cone.
You can't sit there and watch these two look at a cone at the same time.
No, I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah, if you came, we wouldn't have had to do that.
Yeah, I could have paid.
Gail.
I could have funded the cones. I could have saw Jake.
I know men who won't split a dessert with 2 forks. Like, no, I can't do that.
That's
if
silly,
you'll say
though.
to somebody, "Hey, taste some of my cheesecake," they go like this. Oh no, I don't fucking do that, dude. And I always act like you homophobic pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
But if I saw 2 men licking a cone at the same fucking time,
Did you go in for licks at the same time?
Yes.
Like you were
No,
like,
it was one lick, pass it off, another lick, then you pass it back.
you're
so
fucking
weird.
disgusting.
We were hungry for
You're
fucking
fucking
soft
low
serve.
rent, dude.
Pass the cone to the left.
They were just standing there at the corner of 49th and 6th,
I
passing
remember
off a cone.
when I could afford my first cone, I was like 3. At that point, I was able to have my own cone, and I never looked back.
But it wasn't $7. I was thinking $2.50 max for a fucking cone of soft serve ice cream. When this lady says $7, I don't know what the fuck to do. I was like, we're sharing, dude. There's no way I'm paying $14 for fucking ice cream cones.
It's not worth it to you, $7 to not lick a cone with another man?
A, I didn't have it. B, no.
Why don't you just start panhandling on the street? Hey, man, help me out for a cone. Hey, man, can you help me get a cone for myself? Dude, I'm fresh back from Afghanistan. Mother of all bombs. Can I get a cone?
it didn't even happen yet.
I know. Give me that cone money.
You're this shit.
I need you to get a hold of Don and tell him you can't even afford to buy a fucking cone for yourself.
Don, I can't afford shit.
Yeah, I turn around all the time and you're fucking expensing something. You're not going to expense a cone for yourself?
You easily could have.
I didn't think they'd have a receipt. I need a receipt for the fucking expense.
Cash only
Otherwise, I'd be
cones.
just fucking writing shit on paper that I'm not buying and saying, this is a receipt, here. Give me back this
Jeremy just wrote
$5,000.
This pushes Stanley's gayness to 75%. Seriously, to me it's gayer than if they were sharing a nut sack.
And they have.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would have had to been 2 when I split a Coca-Cola with somebody. But a fucking ice cream cone? A very intimate, licky thing.
Yeah, I know. Our saliva mixed yesterday. Not because we made out, because
That
of the
wasn't
cone.
saliva, dude.
It was a hot day.
You were
We needed
excited.
that cone. Couldn't afford to. Makes sense to me.
This works
Thank
for
you,
you
Connor.
because you're a writer. You could write a horrible fucking rock song
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking about
Cone
it.
Bros, right there.
Cone bros.
No rock
A
song has
saga.
bros in it. Cone bros. We're 2 cone bros.
Actually, that is pretty good.
Yeah, actually,
though.
that wasn't bad. Think
Connor.
about it. Leave.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go home right now. Write this
You're
up.
as bro as ice. The ice cream we lick together now.
You
Hey,
two
because
sick
of,
fucks.
I got into this Dan Band fucking thing, and Dan Band doing Lady is maybe my...
That's so good.
And then I'm going like this. I wonder if when I was young, if I realized how crazy the song Lady is. Lady! Holy fucking Stanley says Lady to anyone.
Lady?
I call it.
Lady, we're gonna have to split a cone.
We are splitting the cone now. Ice cream for our tongues.
Oh, shit.
All right. When we get out of here, anything we need to plug tonight? Tomorrow night, I'm at the Standing Room in Long Island City, and then the next night I'm at the Stand in Gramercy Park. I got the keys at Gramercy Park.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to, if you're interested, pick up badges for Moon Tower. You can get into...
Badges?
We don't need no stinking badges. Although, that's one of those lines that they don't say we don't need no stinking badges.
What do they say? We don't
It's
need
like, yeah, it's just like a mixed up line, but he never says the sentence, we don't need no stinking
What's
badges.
he say then?
I don't
think
know.
he says
It's
we
like,
don't need no badges.
But
Because
doesn't
they
he
said
say
wear your
stinking?
badges.
Yeah.
They might not be stinking. But I
We'll pick
did
this
hear
up tomorrow.
badgers. We don't need no stinking badgers a couple times. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm out. You can finish plugging whatever you need.
Austin, get your badges. Come see us in the Moon Tower Festival.
AustinTheater.org for those badges.
AustinTheater.org for those badges. Friend fried potato.
I like the way he lick. He likes the way I lick. Come boys.
That's it. See y'all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!